Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Making 4 wins in 5 games for the Yankees, who now will look to head home on a high note. It is the finale of the season-opening West Coast swing as the New York Yankees face off against the Seattle Mariners in a Wednesday matinee at T-Mobile Park in Washington. We hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Final game of this 3-game series. Last night, the Yankees win it 5-0. One of their early season credos, JC, has been finish up strong, finish out these series, find a way to get a win. With that in mind, let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
And if you want to finish strong, you talk about power, and the Yankees have a power pitcher on the mound today in Cam Schlittler. And Bob, when he releases the baseball, there's an electric feel about it. It's a dynamic arm. It's an exciting arm. It's a big arm. And there's so much excitement around Schlittler every time he goes out there. We've detailed his arsenal. He throws 3 different types of fastballs. He's intimidating. We used the word dominate a lot last night because the Yankees have only allowed 3 runs in their first 5 games. Their pitching has been excellent. Schlittler has been a major part of that, and he'll be a major part of the Yankees all season long, which is why the run it back theme was incomplete. This is a guy they're going to be able to go to all year.
Well, they want to run back what they've done starting pitching-wise so far because they've allowed just 3 runs. That's tied for the fewest in Major League history through the first 5 games. 2 runs or fewer and 0 homers allowed in each game. Only the 3rd team in American League history to do that. 3 shutouts, and then, of course, Max Fried has been brilliant. He was again last night. He's leading that staff, but they really have set a tone of just finding a way to get deep enough into games to make it a complete ball game.
Bob, every time you see something like this unfold, I like to try and go back to the beginning, whatever the beginning might be. And I'm thinking about being in spring training and watching pitchers throw bullpens and watching Matt Blake, the pitching coach, or Preston Claiborne, the bullpen coach, meet with those pitchers. But I think even in the Yankees' wildest dreams, they couldn't have scripted that their pitching would be this phenomenal. You expect at some point that one of your pitchers might get dented. None of the Yankee pitchers have been dented so far. Fried has been excellent. We talked about Schlittler. And then even in the bullpen, I look at a couple of more unheralded relievers, guys like Bird and Hedrick contributing. So if you're the Yankees, you just want to see this run of success and dominance keep going. You've got a home opener on Friday at Yankee Stadium, but you've got to finish off this West Coast trip first.
And one thing about Schlittler, and we'll talk more about him coming up in just a bit, but he wants to be a little more complete today. His last outing, because he was limited a bit in spring training, 68 pitches, so those should get a little more out of him today.
I would think he's mid to high 70s today. The Yankees want to be careful about how they elevate that pitch count. I know when I talked to him in spring training about the limited pitch count, there was a part of him that was a little disappointed. He missed some time at the beginning of spring training with that back issue. He said it's not an issue anymore. He wanted to be full and complete at the start of the season. But, Bob, he was so efficient in his last outing that for those 68 pitches, he was able to get into the 6th inning. I anticipate that he'll pitch even deeper for the Yankees today. And again, he's become must-see TV. Just as you want to watch Max Fried because of the way he dissects hitters, you want to watch Cam Schlittler because of the way he dominates hitters. Fastballs up in the zone, whether it's 4-seamer, cutter, 2-seamer. This guy is amazing.
Coming off an 8-strikeout game, let's take a look at the Yankees lineup that'll back him up today. Comes your way courtesy of Toyota. This team went 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position last night. Cody Bellinger went 2 for 3, had a walk as well. 2 runs and a stolen base. In fact, Grisham, Rice, and Stanton also had 2 hits each in that game, but Stanton getting the day off while Rice is the DH today. You're not completely surprised, though, that Stanton's not in that lineup, right?
They need to manage Stanton, and even though he's been your most robust hitter, and even though he's seeing the ball as well as he is with those 10 hits through the first 5 games, there's an off day tomorrow, Bob, and you get him 2 off days now. I think it's a smart move by the Yankees. I think they have to make sure that they can keep Stanton on the field as often as possible this year. I think with McMahon, whereas yesterday they wanted to make sure McMahon was in the lineup because Fried with that cutter inside to righties, you're going to have a lot of baseballs hit toward third base. You're not going to see that as much with Schlittler, so the defense isn't as much of a priority at third, and you give Rosario a shot. And meanwhile, with no Stanton, as you said, Rice DHs, so Goldschmidt gets the nod at first.
All right, we'll see what he can come up with. In the meantime, one of the things the Yankees really preach, and Aaron Boone, winning at bats. And we've seen that manifest itself this season in ABS challenges. They know their strike zones. But you noticed yesterday in the ballgame an at-bat by Bellinger that really stood out. Why?
Yeah, you go back to the first inning. There's 2 outs. Bellinger is at the plate. And you watch what Gilbert is trying to do to him. I jumped ahead to the count being 0-2, but let's watch Gilbert's approach against the lefty. He's going to start him out. He swings over the cutter for strike 1. And then Gilbert, who's got really good stuff, bends in a curveball. So now you're Bellinger, 2-strike. Let's watch his 2-strike approach, Bob. Changeup, able to spit on that. We're going to watch Gilbert come back with a splitter. That one tails outside, so he lets that go. 2-2, where does he go? What does he feel he's convicted he can throw a strike with? He misses a fastball. And now if you're Cody Bellinger, you're looking for something that you just want to put in play. He gets a cutter, Bob, and just wraps it back through the middle. And what was impressive to me about that is that Bellinger stayed calm. He stayed patient, was 0-2, but he also had that 2-strike approach. At that point, he's not looking to launch and hit the ball 420 feet. He's trying to get on base. And guess what happened? Because he got on base with 2 strikes and 2 outs, that was a first-inning rally that helped propel the Yankees. And Fried talked about afterwards about how it helped calm him down, too.
We talked about a good pitching matchup last night. We get that again today with Schlittler versus Kirby, 2 very good pitchers. When they look at the scouting report for Kirby, what's number 1 on the list, do you think?
The fact that he is an elite strike thrower, Bob. His walk percentage right there, 3.6% since 2022. It tells you that this guy is going to be all around the zone. Stay tuned for my Kia key later because it might have something to do with what we're talking about. And when he doesn't walk anybody, you want to just make sure that you're smart and you're aggressive. We saw the Yankees do that on opening day against Logan Webb, a really good pitcher who they knew was going to throw a lot of strikes.
I want to remind you all season long here on Yes, we invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Well, it should be quite a pitching matchup for the series finale in Seattle. And coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, Meredith Marakovits and David Cohn tell us what to expect from Cam Schlittler and George Kirby today. So keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. Call your shot on FanDuel every day with Daily Dinger. Make a free pick for a chance at a profit boost the next day. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast, and the Yankees are away in Seattle, Washington. Here's how it's looking at first pitch. It is a rainy start to the game. It's wet and chilly. Temperatures in the upper 40s by the 7th inning. Definitely going to need those umbrellas, but we have a light breeze even taking us through the end of the game. Just a gloomy experience overall with temperatures topping out in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. So what's your mood cast? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Hope. Let's take a look at our key matchup brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Terrific pitching on both sides. 2 young right-handers. George Kirby allowing just a couple hits in his series opener against the Guardians and picking up the win. And then Cam Schlittler pitched so well, 5 1/3, 1 hit allowed, and no runs to the Giants. For more on the pitching matchup, let's get into the Ford Clubhouse Report. Meredith Marakovits with David Cohn.
Thanks, Bob. Jack, I know you know the guy that is standing next to me. David Cohn, you've been doing the games for us all trip, this West Coast trip. Today, another great pitching matchup between Cam Schlittler and George Kirby. Just overall, what have you thought of what you have seen from this Yankees rotation to start the season?
Couldn't have gone better, right? I mean, we kept talking about, oh, Garrett Cole's going to come back, Carlos Rodon eventually. We're just going to hold the fort down. Well, it's been anything but that so far. I mean, we've got some young guys that are really taking the next leap, and certainly Cam Schlittler on the mound today is somebody to watch. He's become much-watched TV right now because he's been that good.
What has stood out to you about his stuff? Obviously, the high-powered fastball, that's always going to be a huge part of his arsenal. But aside from that, David?
I just really feel like his pitch shapes have taken another step up the ladder, and especially his cutter. His cutter is now almost in the category of Corbin Burns-like cutter, which is one of the best of his generation. I mean, that's high praise, but that's how it's looked so far. And that three-way fastball that he has is high gas in the upper 90s, a sinker that's devastating, and then that cutter is the thing that's really taken a step up.
Something that Matt Blake said to me yesterday, yeah, there are the 3 fastballs that he used, different varieties there, but then working on the off-speed stuff a little bit, not relying too heavily on it, but incorporating it in. How would you like to see him maybe get more comfortable throwing some of that stuff?
Yeah, I think he's going to need it on days when he struggles a bit, and he really hasn't had that yet. I mean, it's easy to say you need to do this or you need to do that, but when his fastball is as effective as it's been so far, he hasn't really had a chance to mix in a lot of breaking balls. But it's there. The ones he's thrown have been pretty good. His curveball definitely has shown promise as well. So in my mind, you know, when he needs it, it'll be there, but he really hasn't needed it.
Do you expect him to have to overcome some adversity this year? Teams have seen him now. They know a little bit more what to expect. As a pitcher, how do you kind of adjust to hitters knowing what you're going to try to do out there?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I guess that's when the curveball is going to come in. He's going to have to mix up his looks and become a little more unpredictable. But as of now, he has just blitzed American League hitters so far. Even last year, when you think about it, they're the ones adjusting to him. And that's the beauty of Cam Schlittler so far. He's got such a power arsenal in that three-way fastball that he forces the issue and he makes them adjust to him. He hasn't had the tables turned on him that much so far.
And we saw an unbelievable performance out of him last year in the postseason against the Red Sox. And even when he first came up, what stood out to me on the mound, David, is his presence. Is that something that you've noticed with Schlittler, that confidence that he has when he's out there?
Yes, very much so. And his very under control delivery for a big guy. He really uses his leverage very well. He uses his plain over-the-top delivery. You know, that's kind of old school to me. It's refreshing to see a kid with that much confidence, great tempo, great delivery, and uses his fastball and is fearless. So that, to me, that's right back to the 80s. That's the starting pitchers I saw back in the day.
How much do starting pitchers feed off each other when they have a rotation that's throwing the way that the guys have been throwing so far?
It's contagious. It really is. It's hard to explain. You know, you can't put a number on it, but it's a feeling you get in the dugout as a starting pitcher by just learning by osmosis so much. You'll watch a great performance, and you want to follow suit, and you're like, okay, that's how he pitches this guy. Let me try that. Or you see continued success, and it just gives you confidence, and it breeds down through, and that collectively, that's how you get good chemistry.
I spoke to Will Warren earlier today. He's going to start the home opener Friday in the Bronx, and he said a little bit something to that effect of just talking to pitchers in the dugout as the game's going on, trying to learn from those guys. Who were guys when you were pitching that you really kind of picked the brain of to try to make sure that you knew what you were doing when you went out?
Well, you know, with the Royals coming up, it was a guy named Dennis Leonard, who was the ace of the Royals back in the 70s. And, you know, Yankee fans will remember that name from the 70s that have been around. But with the Mets, it was Ron Darling. You know, Ron was great. He took me under his wing. Even watching Dwight Gooden a little bit when he was young. You know, I was a little bit older than him, but he was pretty established by the time I got there. But they were great. And I saw Ronnie. He's working for TBS. He was here yesterday. He took me under his wing. He was great.
I was going to ask you, how much do the memories flow back when you see him around the ballpark?
He was just one of those guys that was a veteran. He took a rookie under his wing. He took me out and took me shopping, bought me a navy blue blazer, and said, hey, kid, you got to dress. This is the big leagues. You know, you're on charter flights. And just how to act in the big leagues is one of the things, etiquette, you know, how to carry yourself.
Let's turn our attention to the Seattle Mariners and George Kirby. What can we expect from him this afternoon?
He is the elite strike thrower in the game today. He's the all-time leader in strikeouts to walk ratio. I mean, he lives in the strike zone. He is fearless. The Seattle Mariners pitching staff is amazing. They're a great matchup. I love this matchup, Yankees and Mariners. It might be a preview of postseason. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But George Kirby is amazing with his command. He lives in the strike zone. He challenges hitters. We might have a fast game on a getaway day today. 2 strike throwers that throw hard.
Hey, when that's the case, what's the key for an offense when you know a guy is not going to leave the zone away? He's going to just pummel you with pitches in the zone.
You got to match that aggressiveness. You know, you got to see the first pitch you like, and if he's in the zone, then you got to be ready to hit. And I think we're going to see that a little bit today. We know the Yankees can be a bit patient and get their walks, but we've also seen aggressiveness early in the count. That's what I'm looking for. First 2 pitches to see if they're ready to hit.
First road trip of the season. David, how are you holding up here?
This is great. I mean, we had so many off days already. We were off on Sunday. I'm still lost. What time is it in New York? I'm ready to get back, so let's go.
What time is it? What day is it? No one knows. We do know there will be baseball here in Seattle in just a little bit, and David will be joining Michael Kay in the booth. David, thanks for the time.
My pleasure, Mayor.
Send it back to you, Bob.
Thank you, guys. Time for another break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Still to come, we're going to do a deep dive into Cam Schlittler's electric arsenal that was on full display in his first start, so stick around.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. For a same-game parlay, how about the Yankees' money line? The Yankees to hit the over on their runs, Aaron Judge to score a run, and Cam Schlittler to strike out at least 6. That parlay comes in at plus 467. Yankees fans, FanDuel is inviting you to call your shot with Daily Dinger. Make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost the next day. Get your free pick in now on FanDuel before today's action starts.
Let's dial it back to Cam Schlittler's first start this season against the Giants. It came in Game 2, Jack, and he was on 5 1/3, no runs allowed, 8 strikeouts, and he got the most out of his 68 pitches.
Yeah, that sinker right there to Chapman was just a little bit of what he featured this day. Bob, in this start, the Giants swung the bat 41 times. Like Bader right there, they swung and missed 13 times. So that was a whiff rate of almost 1/3. As Coney talked about with Meredith, he didn't need to stray from his 3 fastballs because the Giants weren't doing any damage against any of his pitches. There's one curveball against the lefty just to keep him honest, but he threw almost 90% four-seamer, two-seamer, or cutter, and you can't hit that two-seamer right there when he has that kind of movement.
Take a look at his arsenal. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, and you're right in terms of the tunneling of those 3 pitches. You might know a fastball is coming, you just don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I love what we've done with this right here because you can see the four-seam fastball that explodes or basically stays on its plane. You see the two-seamer that moves arm side, and then you see the cutter that moves glove side. And just imagine a hitter trying to see those pitches coming out of his delivery. He's already 6'6", so he's releasing the ball from a spot where batters aren't accustomed to. And Pitching Ninja did something similar to this. Give him a shout out. He's a great social media follow. But you look at that tunneling effect, as you talked about, Bob, and you basically say, how are hitters going to figure out an approach against this guy? If you're Schlittler, keep doing the same thing. Don't mess around with it at all. It's been that successful.
And isn't it amazing? It wasn't that long ago that if you had a big arm and a four-seam fastball, that's what you threw. Four-seamer, up in the zone, end of story. Now it's great to see the two-seamer coming in and the movement, and then him having the presence of mind to add that cutter.
You've heard me use this phrase before, the evolution of a young player or the evolution of a young pitcher. I loved when he introduced that sinker last year. It was in a start against the Blue Jays. He threw it to George Springer. Springer actually stepped out of the batter's box and mouthed, "What was that?" So to your point, on the fly, he added this to his mix, and now it's one more weapon that he has and one more thing that hitters have to think about.
And we'll see what happens. The Mariners do have some swing and miss in their game. Does he just stick all fastballs, or, as Coney said, does he start mixing in a little more of that secondary stuff?
I think a lot of times when you have this kind of arm, you see how those early innings are going. And if everything is going well with the 3 fastballs that we talked about, he might not have to mess around with any of his other pitches, whether it's throwing the sweeper. I think he's shelved the idea of a changeup for now, but he goes out there with a lot of confidence, too. You heard Meredith ask Cone about that. That stands out, that he has not a cockiness about him, but a belief that if he goes out there and has his stuff, he should be able to suppress whatever lineup it is.
Well, let's take a look at the Mariners lineup he'll face today, courtesy of Toyota. This team held to just 4 hits in the Game 2 loss last night. No runner reached third base. Brendan Donovan back to the leadoff spot, hitting .429 in 6 games this season. Couple homers, but we've talked about the other guys that have struggled. Julio Rodriguez, 2 for 22. Naylor, 1 for 23. And Cal Raleigh, just 3 for 21. Time for one last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We're going to wrap things up with some final thoughts and get Jack's key to the game. That's ahead on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Let's take a look at today's Morgan to Morgan injury report. Carlos Rodon throwing again today, and that's good news because he had a little tightness in his hamstring yesterday, and not even expected to get imaging now on that. So throwing back-to-back days, looks like the hammy's good. He'll be in town and in the stadium on Friday when the Yankees have their home opener. But they got to close things out in Seattle. Let's get your key to the game. How do they do it?
I think the key for the Yankees today comes from an offensive perspective, Bob, and it's being smart, aggressive versus Kirby. By that, I mean this is a guy who's going to be around the zone. We've already detailed that walk rate is so low, less than 4%. His strikeout to walk ratio, 6.5 to 1. So you got to expect that with that fastball, curve, sinker, slider combination, he's going to be around the zone. So if you see something early in the count, be ready to go, just as the Yankees were on opening day against Logan Webb.
It is Michael Kay and David Cohn with the call. Meredith Morakovitz reporting, and she will join us on the postgame. Have a great day and enjoy the ball game next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
It's a cold, raw, and rainy afternoon here in Seattle, but there are no worries. See that pretty roof? It's closed, so that means it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents opening week, brought to you by Vanguard, discipline that delivers. It's the Yankees against the Mariners in the rubber game of a 3-game set from T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay. This series so far and the season for the Yankees so far has been about starting pitching. So let's give you the pitching matchup in this one. For the Yankees, Cam Schlittler, and for Seattle, it's the local kid from Rye, New York, George Kirby, getting the start. As for Schlittler, he pitched very well in his first start of the season against the Giants in San Francisco.
Yeah, he has tremendous potential. We saw that last year, and he's gotten better this year. He went to the laboratory in the offseason and refined his movement profile on his fastballs, 1 sinks, 1 rides, and 1 cuts. So, yeah, it's a 3-way fastball. It's very effective, and it is high velocity, and he has a lot of confidence when he's on the mound.
Just trying to keep the line moving. Max Fried, 13 1/3 shutout innings so far. Schlittler did not allow a run in his first start. Warren 1, Weathers 1. The combined ERA 0.66. So as a team, the Yankees are 4-1, and it's because of the pitching. The offense hasn't clicked yet, especially the captain, Aaron Judge. But the guys that surrounded him in the lineup yesterday, they got the job done.
Yeah, well, the Yankees had the most productive outfield offensively last year, and I think by the end of this year, it's probably going to be pretty close to that as well. And led by this guy at the top of the order, Trent Grisham came to play last night and laying out line drives, and his buddy out there in the outfield, Bellinger, was there as well. So these guys really kind of set the tone, not only the way they hit the baseball, but the way they ran the bases. And they manufactured some runs and forced the issue, and that was the key to the ball game, to get a lead early and then hold it.
All right, the early going Grisham with 2 extra base hits, 2 ribby in 4 games. And Bellinger picking up where he left off, 333 with 3 walks in his 5 games. Now, we mentioned the captain. Yes, he does have 2 home runs, but he's 3 for 20 with 10 strikeouts. He seems to be a tick off. Meredith Morakovitz talks to Yankee manager Aaron Boone about the captain next on Yes.
Welcome back to the Emerald City for Yankees baseball on Yes. Series finale between the Yankees and the Mariners set to get underway in just a little bit. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. The Yankees have really been rolling to start the year at 4-1. So far, we have seen some tremendous pitching performances and contributions up and down the order. Aaron Judge blasted 2 home runs in the series against the Giants, but has been a little bit quiet so far here in Seattle. You can't help but get excited thinking about what this all could look like when the captain locks in.
Early in the season, again, a small stretch, you know, even for him when it's not clicking at a level like we're accustomed to seeing with him all the time. He's still had a major impact in 2 wins offensively, coupled with, you know, all the other things he brings to the table on defense and just in here in the dugout. So with Judgy, it's always a matter of time before he gets dialed in from a timing standpoint, and off we go.
What are the signs you look for that tells you he's going to go on one of those sprees that he does where it seems like he can't miss?
When he shows up.
Well, Aaron Judge is here and in the lineup. He will bat second and play right field. Meanwhile, Giancarlo Stanton has the afternoon off. He'll be available off the bench. Instead, Ben Rice will DH, and Paul Goldschmidt is at first base. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cohn. Baseball next here on Yes.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Sage, proud accounting software provider of the New York Yankees. By Hyundai, test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. Now you can see it's raining outside, but we have this big steel umbrella over T-Mobile Park. And we will have baseball. The final game of the initial road trip for the Yankees. They took all 3 games in San Francisco, and they have split the first 2 here in Seattle. So today is the rubber game. The Mariners will take the field as we're moving closer to baseball on this Wednesday afternoon. Take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. That's going to face George Kirby. Trent Grisham will lead off, then Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. The DH, Ben Rice. First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Jazz Chisholm Jr. at second base. Bat 6. Bottom third of the order, Rosario at third. Wells will catch, and Caballero plays shortstop. He is going to bat 9.
And New York local boy, George Kirby from Rye, New York, is going to toe the slab today here in Seattle, and he's a good one. See the year last year he had, pretty solid across the board. He just doesn't walk anybody. That is his secret sauce, and we'll tell you a little bit more in our Nissan Pitchers scouting report. And really, an elite strike thrower. He is the premier elite strike thrower in the game today. He's got 6 different pitches, all from the same release window. That makes him a pitchability ace. And his 6.6 strikeouts to walk ratio with a minimum of 500 innings is first all time.
Check out the defense behind him. Rosarena, Rodriguez, and Raley left to right in the outfield. Infield, Donovan has gotten off to a great start after being traded from the Cardinals. Ribas at short. Cole Young's had a big start to his season, and Josh Naylor at first. Cal Raleigh behind the plate. He's still trying to feel it out. Dominic Canzone, the DH, and George Kirby, the kid from Rye, he's on the mound. Home plate umpires Lance Barrett. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. So he's considered pitcher friendly, more low strikes. Now he's been challenged 4 times. 3 of his calls have been overturned behind the plate this season. The rest of the crew, Edwin Jimenez at first, Mike Estabrook at second. The crew chief, Alfonso Marquez, is over at third. Yankees are 4-1, and Seattle is 3-3. Trent Grisham, 4 for 17 to start the season. Yankees have tomorrow off, and then the home opener at Yankee Stadium on Friday afternoon. So Grisham's ready. Kirby is ready. Now let's do it here in Seattle. Fouled away, and we're underway. You know, we've talked about the Yankee starters. Mariner starters have done quite well. Their ERA 2.86. 44 strikeouts in 34 2/3 innings. In the 34 2/3 innings, the most that a starting staff has thrown in the major league so far this year, with the Astros second at 30.2.
I would look for the Yankees lineup to be very aggressive today because of Kirby's style of pitching. Hard to work a count against a guy who just races to 0-2.
Kirby grew up a Yankee fan, and his favorite players are Jorge Posada, Derek Jeter, and Bernie Williams. And strike 3. Grisham down looking. Take a look at what Kirby throws with StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
He's got several different pitches we mentioned. It's basically four-seam and knuckle curve, as we've seen, and a proving changeup that he showed in spring training.
And a strike to Judge. Told you he's from Rye, 20th overall pick by the Mariners in the 19 draft, and he was an All-Star in 23. I told you Judge's numbers in the open, 3 for 20.
The pitch was called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
All right, so it's an ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. So it was called a ball, and Cal Raleigh said it was a strike. Cal Raleigh was wrong, so they lose a challenge early.
Seattle has 1 challenge remaining.
So they have 1 challenge remaining. Up to that challenge, there have been 152 defensive challenges, 7 by pitchers, 145 by catchers. High fly ball, right field. Raley is there and puts it away. 2 down. You know, the 10 strikeouts that Judge has, that's the most he's ever had through the first 5 games of the season. So not only the strikeouts a little bit high, but he has walked only once.
It's just been a click off on that swing right there, just a little underneath it.
One and one. Bellinger has been on. He's 6 for 18. And he's gotten out of the gate well. Coming off a very good year last year. Two and one. Raleigh.
Another example right here of a catcher who hit 60 home runs last year and how impressive that is because of the action they get back there, just like that.
Just underway in Seattle, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Did he go? No, he did not, said Alfonso Marquez. Bellinger works a walk with 2 outs.
A rare George Kirby walk.
So here's Ben Rice off to a nice start. Gets a half day as a DH. Goldschmidt playing first. Stanton given the day off, which was mutually agreed upon at the beginning of this series by Stanton and Boone, where you want to keep him healthy, give him off today, there's a day off tomorrow built into the schedule, so that gives him 2 straight days.
Yeah, and a day game after a night game.
Bellinger stole a bag last night. He leads off first, held by Naylor. There he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. It goes into center field. Bellinger doesn't know where it is, so he'll stay put. A stolen base for Bellinger.
Fantastic jump. Just well timed. Underneath the throw. So a 2-out walk, now the stolen base. He's in scoring position just that fast.
Rivas deked him into thinking he had the ball in his glove, so that's why Bellinger stayed put at second while the ball was in center. He had no idea.
And Michael, if you remember back to last night, Cody Bellinger was limping a little bit on the base paths late in the game. I asked him about that today, and he said it was just a little bit of a strawberry, a bruise. They actually cut the skin off, put a pad over it, put some extra padding on it, and he said he is good to go. Clearly not affecting him or his legs so far this afternoon.
The 2-1. Grounded, fair, inside first and down the right field line. Bellinger will score. The ball goes into the corner. Rice hustling to second. He makes the turn. He'll stop right there. It's an RBI double, and the Yankees are up 1-0.
Well, this is how you make a good starting pitcher pay. 2-out walk, stolen second base, and Ben Rice keeps on keeping on. Nails the slider right down the line. Yankees with an early lead.
Here's Goldschmidt. Getting the start against the right-hander. And he takes a strike. One start in San Francisco is 1 for 5. Fouled into the seats on the first base side. Kirby's first start was against Cleveland on March 27. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. He's already given up a run here. He walked 2 and struck out 6 in that game. .98 miles an hour. Giddy up there. Kirby is going to challenge that. He was walking up the mound thinking it was strike 3.
The pitcher is challenging.
All right, so the ABS is powered by T-Mobile. Let's take a look. Oh, by a lace. Goldschmidt down looking. Yankees get a run. Mariners come to bat against Schlittler. The Yankees get a run in the top of the. Here's the lineup. Donovan, Raleigh, and Rodriguez. Raleigh off to a slow start. 13 strikeouts, 3 for 21. Then it's Naylor, Rosarena, and Raleigh. First look at Raleigh in this series, and Canzone, Young, and Rivas. And they're facing a good one in Cam Schlittler.
Indeed, as the word is around the league about Cam Schlittler and what kind of stuff he's featuring, how hard he throws, how good he potentially is going to be, and he already is. A little bit more in our Nissan Pitcher Scouting Report. And it's really a fastball ecosystem that he features. We've talked a lot about a 3-way fastball. We'll get into it more, but it really is very deceptive. And the cutter development is the pitch that's come along and really taken a step in the upward direction, and obviously front line upside. He's potentially a #1 starter before he's done.
Here's Donovan off to a great start. And that one is ripped down the right field line. It is trouble. It's a base hit up against the wall. Donovan will chug into second with a leadoff double on the first pitch.
Well, this is what Donovan brings for the Mariners. He's ready to hit. He has great contact skills. They know that Schlittler's very aggressive with his fastball, and he's ready. First pitch, keep it fair, right down the line.
Donovan now 10 for 22. tell you what, David, the challenge on the last pitch by Kirby, as Bill Rafferty would say, that's onions, because they could have lost both of their challenges and topped the first inning.
Yes, and I understand with Aaron Judge up, but nobody was on base. Yeah, you sort of risk reward. It's obviously going to be a learning curve for everybody out there, but that pitch there, boy, you could have lost both your challenges in the first inning.
And really, it was a strike by about the lace on the baseball. One and two. So Raleigh, 3 hits and 21 at-bats, 13 strikeouts. For a guy who had 60 home runs last year, he's struggling early. And another strikeout, his 14th. David, are they booing?
Grumbling, I think more of a grumble. That's right down the pipe. It shows you the confidence of Schlittler on the mound. It's almost like sometimes you can sense it when you're out there if a guy's struggling, Michael, and you go right after him.
Another guy struggling, Julio Rodriguez, 2 for 22. That's 091. Check out the Yankee defense behind Schlittler, Bellinger, Grisham, and Judge, the usual in the outfield. Rosario's at third today, Caballero is short. Chisholm at second, Goldschmidt over first. Wells behind the plate, Rice the DH, and Cam Schlittler is on the mound. So the man they call J-Rod, 2 for 22, and he has 8 strikeouts.
Powder River so far from Schlittler.
So the Mariners certainly hit the Guardians hard. 22 runs in 4 games against the Yankees in 2 games. Just 2 runs, and that was in the first game. They won 2-1. They got shut out yesterday. Swing and a miss. And one of the glitches in this Mariner lineup is they strike out a lot. Raleigh strikes out. Obviously, Rodriguez will strike out. That's why they went out and got Donovan. He's not a strikeout hitter.
See this 97 miles an hour right on by. Watch how late he is. Ball's almost in the glove.
There's Josh Naylor. He's 1 for 23. Fly ball deep left field. Going back is Bellinger. He's there to make the play, and that'll do it. So they pitch around the leadoff walk by Donovan. Play FanDuel's Daily Dinger for free every day for a chance at profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. Aaron Judge plus 280, Paul Goldschmidt plus 630. Yankees lead 1-0. Jazz Chisholm leads off to second, takes a pitch up and away. One and one. Chisholm 3 hits and 19 at bats. He does have 2 stolen bases. 1 and 2. It'll be Chisholm, Rosario, and Wells. And Chisholm down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Kirby.
And we mentioned his improving changeup. Here it is. Power changeup at 90 miles an hour right on the black, down and away.
Here's Rosario getting the start at third. And he's getting a start against a righty. And you look at what McMahon has done or not done offensively, you're going to see more of Rosario if McMahon continues to struggle. 1 for 14 at the plate. You'll always see McMahon playing when Fried's on the mound because they want the best defense at third. That one's a broken bat. Looper over the head of Naylor. A base hit for Rosario. Makes the turn and stops there.
Rosario's got a lot of energy too. He's become a hit here on the bench. You can see here bat to ball skills means using all the bat, and he does. Filet mignon.
There's Austin Wells, 2 hits and 13 at bats. He did not start yesterday. J.C. Escara on Max Fried. Got a run in the first, a walk with 2 outs to Bellinger. He stole second, and Rice doubled down the right field line. That scored the run. So they're up 1-0. Try to win this series and head back to New York up with a 5-1 record.
Anytime you start out on the West Coast as an East Coast team, you get anywhere near a winning record, you're thrilled.
One and two on the Yankee catcher. Top to first. Naylor fields, fires to second. And it's a double play. 1-6. We go to the bottom of the second.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Park. This Yankees rotation has been rolling to start the season, and I am with the man who set the tone last night in Max Fried. Max, will you describe the pride that the members of this rotation have right now based on the way you guys have started this season?
You know, it's been a lot of fun so far. You know, we had a really good camp, and we're just trying to keep it going into the season. But yeah, we're just trying to be on the attack and really just trust our stuff.
You know, when you look at each guy, it seems like nobody wants to be the one to let that rotation down. How much do you feel like you guys are feeding off of each other?
You know, some of the best rotations that I've been a part of, there's a little bit of competition within the rotation. So when you have some competition within just your own team, it really pushes you to be your best.
I was speaking with Will Warren earlier today. He said not only competition, but a collaborative effort. How much does the discussion amongst you guys help when you're out on the mound?
A ton. You know, anyone's opinion, you know, outside eyeballs are always really helpful. So to be able to get nice play. To be able to just get the opinions of the other guys and, you know, pick their brains and, you know, like I said, there's a friendly competition, but we're all rooting for each other, so it's really nice.
Hey, those spring PFPs paying off there for Cam Schlittler. I know you love to see that, a Gold Glove winner yourself. Speaking of Schlittler, just what stood out to you about the way he is thrown to start the season, just kind of carrying over from what we saw last year?
The stuff is unbelievable. He's a bulldog. He just keeps going after the guys, you know, giving up first pitch double and then going right after him, getting 2 strikeouts. It's some really big stuff, and he's not scared.
You mentioned not scared. Just what have you thought overall of his demeanor? Because it seems like he has not backed down in any capacity since we've seen him at this level.
No, he's going to come at you, and it's really fun to watch. It's refreshing, and he's got the stuff to be able to do it. So I'm glad I'm able to watch him every 5th day.
Talk about watching. You're a spectator today. What do you watch for to know that he is locked in on the mound?
I think just the mentality, and you see him going after him. He's over you can't really tell where he is. It's more up and down, but he's going after guys. He's got, this thing says, 2 balls today, so just keep that going. But, no, he attacks guys. He's going to go after you, and it cuts out a lot of the mental mistakes or just getting free passes on base.
Before I let you go, Max, we saw George Kirby challenge one to get out of the first inning. We saw you do it as a Yankee pitcher for the first time yesterday. You described it as nerve-wracking. How have you been getting used to this ABS system here to start the season?
A lot of trust in my catchers. That one yesterday was it was a gut call. I saw it, and it looked like a strike out of the hand, so I immediately tapped it, and then almost had a little bit of regret, but then I saw the ball was in the zone, so I was very happy about it.
Hey, it worked. Congratulations on the win last night. Appreciate the time right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Meredith.
Michael, we'll send it back up to you and David Cohn.
Well, thank you to Meredith, and also thanks to Max for agreeing to do that. And starting pitchers are happy when they pitch well the previous
Pitch was
night.
called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Speaking of the ABS, let's take a look at another challenge. ABS, powered by T-Mobile, called the ball, and you know what? They were right again.
The call is
He's getting another overturn.
Two challenges for me.
So from 2-0 it goes to 1-1.
By the time the year is over and we have a full season of data, it will make a big difference for the team that is very efficient at this new skill.
Chases one up in the zone, does Canzone, and the count 1-2.
I was just thinking about Max Fried. When you throw a young lefty like Ryan Weathers in the mix with Max Fried and Garrett Cole for that matter, it's the perfect situation for a young pitcher to be around a guy like him. Just to watch him. Obviously, you talk to him every day, but just to watch how he works.
And he waves at that one. Canzone down on strikes. Third strikeout for Schlittler.
Well, when you have this kind of stuff and you're in attack mode continually, you're going to get guys to chase and swing at pitches like this up and out of the zone. Because you got to start it early. Some high octane coming at you.
When Fried became a free agent, the Yankees obviously, plan A was to re-sign Soto. When he goes to the Mets, they pivoted, and the guy they wanted was Max Fried. And they had a Zoom call with him. And they weren't sure if a guy from L.A. who pitched in Atlanta really wanted to deal with the Bronx. And people that were on that Zoom call, they said from the moment the picture showed up, this guy wanted it. He desired to be in the cauldron and have the pressure of pitching well. And so far, he's fit in seamlessly, David.
Absolutely. Extremely professional approach.
Ground ball second base off the bat of Young. And another scoreless inning for a Yankee starter as the Mariners strand one. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com, from official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies. We've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Yankees, the official source for your Yankees gear. Caballero swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. So Schlittler in the first 2 innings, he pitches around a leadoff double by Donovan, then a 1-out single by Raleigh in the second inning, and the Yankee right-hander has looked sharp again with 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. Yankees lead 1-0. Next time the Yankees will see the Mariners will be August 11th, 12th, and 13th in the Bronx. So they'll miss each other for a while. Left side, Donovan. One away. Back to the top of the order, and Trent Grisham struck out looking in the first inning. High fly ball, right center. Rodriguez makes the play, 2 down. Here's Judge. He's got one high to right field in the first inning, hauled in by Raley. So Judge 0 for 1.
That's what we've seen a lot of early in the season from Aaron Judge. Just a click off. A lot of good swings at fastballs, but fouling them off. It's just a matter of time before he starts squaring them up.
One and one. One and two.
Really an old school feel to today's game because of the starting pitchers. Here it is, hit it, pitch off their fastballs, constantly on the attack. The 1-2. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Judge down on strikes. That's his 11th strikeout of the season. Yankees go down in order. We go to the bottom of the third. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And tonight's picture is from Sarah, who traveled from Oregon to be here in Seattle for this series against the Yankees. Pretty good. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures. You post to social media. Reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. We might. Leo Rivas will lead off. 9-1-2 in Seattle's order. Now, yesterday we highlighted Meredith Marakovitz's beautiful pink coat, and we said it was the color of T-Mobile. If you look at the sign here, this is T-Mobile Park. It was an exact pink color. Now Meredith has changed jackets today, but Meredith, that was last night, and that's perfect T-Mobile cover. So this is what they sent us. T-Mobile, in appreciation, they sent us a bottle of really nice champagne, and we cracked it open before the game. We're all loaded right now. So thank you to T-Mobile for that. Good job, Meredith.
Here's what happened. I didn't even know that they brought that because I'm in a different place. So they could have just taken it. I would have never known. Michael, you could have had that all to yourself.
No, you're the reason we got it, because you wore your T-Mobile coat.
Well, Michael, I do love that coat. Yesterday was T-Mobile. Now, see, I've transitioned. I'm on to the next. It's Toyota Pinstripe Pride is what I'm wearing today. So
nice.
We'll see how that goes.
Looking for a free car. Well, thank you to T-Mobile. Count 2-2 on Rivas.
We might be onto something here.
3-2. Count full on the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the third. Strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Schlittler.
Well, give Wells credit here. That's how you catch a low strike. And that ball's probably a little bit low, but he made it look good. Rivas has a choice. Do I challenge or not? Oh, that would have been really close. So framing's still important. Even though we have a challenge system, Wells very well done there.
Donovan takes a strike. Ground ball first base, gobbled up by Goldschmidt, 2 down. Let's check out the pitching decisions presented by Sage on Cam Schlittler.
Well, there's 3 different kinds of fastballs. I know we've talked a lot about it, but today he's just been number 1. There's a 4-seamer, there's a cutter, and there's a sinker. He's feeling good about just letting it go and challenging hitters today.
Raleigh fouls it away. See the breakdown on the fastball usage percentage. High pop-up, flirting with the roof. And it comes down in the glove of Goldschmidt. A 1-2-3 inning for Schlittler as the Mariners go down in order. Well, let's check out one of today's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Cody Bellinger to hit 1 or more home runs today, plus 750. He has walked and scored in this game and also stole a bag. So he'll lead off the 4th against George Kirby. Oh, and 1.
You said that line a lot today, right? 0-1,
yeah.
0-2, both sides. Oof. Get a little gun shy, right? I mean, that's the one thing I like about the ABS system. That looked pretty good to me. You gotta make your choices, right? And this is probably just off. We'll get another look here. I mean, that's the decision process you have, and you have a split second to make a decision on whether it's a 1/4 inch off the plate or not. Early in the game, am I going to waste one now? That's the learning curve everybody's facing. One of the reasons I like it so far, Michael, is because it does challenge you. And every hitter is so quick to bark about the strike zone, and every pitcher feels like every pitch is a strike. And now, hey, you got your chance. Put up or shut up.
Served in the left field. Arozarena is there. Now, David, interesting story in The Athletic by Brandon Cuddy, where he reported that 3 of the veteran Yankees, Judge, Stanton, and Goldschmidt, spoke to the team on Saturday before the final game of that 3-game set and told them, let's not be complacent. Let's not be satisfied with taking the first 2 games. let's sweep this series. Don't let up. That one was off of Kirby, out to Young, and Young will get Rice. And the thought process is, we might have left some games out there last year because we didn't go for the kill. And if we had, then we're not tied with the Blue Jays with 94 wins, and we get a bye in the first round, and the Blue Jays have to play the Red Sox, and maybe the whole thing is different. So it's pretty good advice from veterans.
I love it. I love that message. That's the way we felt in 1998. It was relentless.
Never satisfied.
Never. And you get a feeling this team reminds me a little bit of that team in terms of, 97 we got knocked out by Cleveland, the famous Sandy Alomar Jr. home run off of Mariano. That next spring we showed up, we were on a mission. And you get a sense this team is too. Criticism of running back. We didn't do enough. This team can't win. Well, I think they've taken that to heart. And they've got a collective edge about them now that is really healthy for a baseball team to have. They know each other very well. They're very close. It's hard to put a number on chemistry, but the Yankees are building it partly through adversity, losing to the Dodgers in the World Series, Blue Jays last year. They have every motivation in the world right now, especially in Aaron Judge's window. Got a lot of young pitching to back him up, a lot of depth. Now's the time. Same thing on the Seattle side. They feel it too. After last year, the pitching they have.
Strike three. Goldschmidt down looking. 7 in a row retired by Kirby. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees still up 1-0. Well, the Yankees home opener is Friday afternoon as the Yankees face off against the Miami Marlins in the Bronx. Start your game day at noon on Yes with expanded pregame coverage, including all the lineups and pageantry from the stadium. Then, first pitch will be shortly after 1:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Julio Rodriguez leads off the bottom of the fourth. Yankees lead 1-0. That one is squibbed right side, fielded by Goldschmidt, and he will beat J-Rod to the bag. One pitch, one out. There's Josh Naylor, 1 for 24 after flying out to left field in the first inning. Picked up his lone hit, bloop single to center field last night against Fried. Mariners got him at the trade deadline last year. He had a great postseason and immediately signed as a free agent back with Seattle. 5 years, $92.5 million.
See a lot of his jerseys in the crowd here. It became a fan favorite in a hurry.
Center field. 2 down. You can't say that Schlittler's taking anybody by surprise. They've got a lot of stuff on tape from last year, the way he pitched against the Red Sox in that do-or-die game. They know what he has, and they're still not squaring him up.
He's hard to square up. Subtle movement on his pitches.
And Seattle's being aggressive now because they know he's throwing strikes.
Wells is doing a great job of handling him today. A little sinker into righties, cutter into lefties, four-seamer up top.
And look at the pitch count, 36. 2 outs here in the fourth inning. 37 pitches now. 35 fastballs he's thrown, 2 curveballs. But they're different fastballs,
Yeah,
David.
absolutely. There's variations. You know, I used it in our scouting report. It's not just a fastball. It's a fastball ecosystem that he has. And each one does something a little bit different. One jumps, one runs, one cuts.
Each team with 2 hits. Yankees lead 1-0. Just missed off the outside corner, 3-2. Rosario. And another 1-2-3 inning, 8 in a row retired by Schlittler. We're going to the 5th in Seattle. It's time for today's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Anthony Volpe, coming back from shoulder surgery, began taking live BP today. He could begin a rehab assignment in 2 weeks, coming off off-season left shoulder surgery. We start the 5th inning. Pitch inside to Jazz Chisholm. You have any more information on some injuries, Meredith?
Well, Michael, some somewhat encouraging news on Carlos Rodon. We told you yesterday he was feeling some tightness in his hamstring. Aaron Boone said that he threw on flat ground today. Not sure whether or not that'll set him back at all. They're still monitoring it over the next couple of days, but they did not think that the tightness in the hamstring was enough to send him for an MRI. So just kind of a day-to-day thing. They do not think that that is going to set him back all that long. And although he's not on the IL, Luis Gil was optioned to AAA. He's expected to make a AAA start and then rejoin this Yankees rotation late in next week. They don't have a date that they want to release yet, but they expect it'll be towards the end of the week.
Thank you, Meredith. Chisholm struck out in the 2nd inning. You know, all over this ballpark and on the sleeve of the Mariners uniform denotes that they're celebrating the 50th year of their existence. And it's been an amazing run for them, with some all-time great players having worn this uniform. A base hit right center field. And Chisholm stops at first with a leadoff single. Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro, just all-time greats. Edgar Martinez, a Hall of Famer. And the amazing thing, this is one team out of the 30 in Major League Baseball that has never, ever won a pennant. Never been to the World Series. It's a team that has 116 wins in a season. Last year went to 7th game of the ALCS, and they pick off Chisholm. He's going to be tagged out. So Jazz with 2 stolen bases was looking for number 3. He got too far off.
Yeah, very aggressive. Thought he could get a quick, sort of a running jump. Kirby nabbed him.
Here's Rosario. That one's chopped to short. Rivas. 2 outs. He's putting on his gear as he's taking a lead off, and he got himself into trouble doing that. He's putting on his sliding glove while he's taking a lead. Kind of splitting your attention.
Took a chance. Got caught. On Wells.
Top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Yankees. They scored that run in the first. Ground ball third base off of Donovan. Carams out to Rivas. And it's going to be a base hit for Wells. Now, we told you the Mariners have not been to the World Series. These are the teams that have not won a championship. In fact, the Rockies, they haven't won a championship, and they're using the San Diego logo, which is unbelievable. The Padres, Milwaukee, the Mariners, the Rockies, and the Rays. They have never won a World Series. And the Mariners have never been to one. They thought that 116-win team, that was the one that was going to go, and it didn't happen. Yankees beat them in the playoffs that year. Ground ball, Donovan. He'll take the force at second, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. We're halfway through. Yankees hockey jersey net is back for 2026. This is a short-looking item. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 17th, when the Yankees take on the Royals. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees hockey jersey, courtesy of StubHub. Tickets going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. 1-0 Yankees out each scoreboard, bottom of the 5th inning. Luke Raley leads off 6, 7, and 8 in Seattle's order. Oh, 1. Just 2 hits against Schlittler. The leadoff double in the first by Donovan, and then the 1-out single to left by Raley in the second. That's one wafted to left field. Deep. Bellinger back. Still back. On the track. And he makes the play. Now he can play left field.
Great jump. Great read. Right to the spot. Left up the bat of a left-hander, too. That ball's got some slice to it, and Bellinger knew exactly how to play. Raley thought he had one.
There's Dominic Canzone. One and 0. Both pitchers throwing strikes. Let's take a look at the pitches that Schlittler has thrown today on the StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. Mostly some form of the fastball. 1 and 2.
That's why everybody's trying to throw harder. That graphic right there. Harder you throw, harder it is to hit, usually.
Another fly ball left field. Backing up. Bellinger on the track makes the play. Using up some real estate, but hauling it in. I like that theatric, how many outs there were. It's like a tip of the cap. Here is Cole Young. And a strike.
When you're aggressive like this with your fastball, you put the hitter on the defensive. And he's going to make a choice. Do I swing at the first pitch? Do I take one? Do I try to work the count? Because if I do, I'm down 0-2. Again, case in point. You can see the hitters are completely on the defensive. It's exactly what you want when you're a pitcher.
Cole trying to upset his rhythm, steps out. Schlittler is about to deliver his 50th pitch, 2 outs in the 5th inning. Bounces that one. Still 1-2.
Good job by Young right there to spoil a really good curveball. He's been tough this whole series. Tough out. Back-to-back curveballs from Schlittler right here. See if he goes back up top with that righty four-seamer. Sequencing the pitches now.
Still 2-2.
Both of these starting pitchers have very consistent release points. All their pitches come out of the same window.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Two outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 Yankees. Tipped into the glove of Wells. They go down in order.
Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Red Sox and Astros in bottom of the 5th. That's Carlos Correa launching one off Garrett Crochet into the Crawford boxes. His first homer of the season, a 3-run shot. Astros up 5-2 at that point. They go on to win 6-4. Boston has lost 5 straight after winning on opening day. Fellas, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. We go around the majors. What can Ohtani do? Can he actually be getting better? 36-game on-base streak. He's pitching great. Mike Trout off to a good start. Sandy Alcantara, 3-hit shutout with just 93 pitches today against the White Sox.
He looks back. Everybody was thinking about trading for him. Miami said we're going to hold on to him and rebuild his value, and that looks like the right decision.
Also a nice sign for the Yankees. They don't have to face him this weekend because he pitched today.
Yeah, great point.
Marlins coming to town to play in the home opener.
He's one of my favorite pitchers, you know, after what he's been through in the Tommy John. But Sandy Alcantara he's the real deal. When he's right and healthy.
Well, this guy's right. 11 straight retired, and he's doing it economically as well. Three and 1 on Grisham. Grisham's 0 for 2 today against Kirby. Next pitch for Kirby will be his 70th. Foul back and out of play. Judge on deck. There is ball 4, so a leadoff walk for Grisham. And he's on base for Judge. Judge 0 for 2, fly ball right, and a strikeout. The strikeout in the third is 11th of the season. First time in his career he's had 11 strikeouts in the first 6 games of the season. And as David said, seems to be a click off. The expression, he looks like he's caught betwixt and between.
That's exactly right. Timing. Two-seamer right there at the knees.
Grisham leads off first, held by Naylor. That one is driven out to right field. Raley is there. Puts it away for out number 1. Bellinger scored the only run in the game. With 2 outs, he walked in the first, stole second, then scored on Rice's double. That's it. That's the only damage on the board for either team. Tried to hold up. He could not, according to Marquez, so count 0-1. Big cut, 0-2.
You know, when a guy's got a good fastball and then you can spin it, you're going to get some swings like that. Cold, raw day. Both pitchers feature gas. Tough day on the hitters.
Strike 3. Like it was right down the middle. 2 away. That'll bring up Rice. We take a look at the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay.
The beauty is they have it in the first inning. That's when you can score off of good pitchers. Get them before they settle in is one of the oldest sayings in the book. Hear that on the bench all the time. Ben Rice again getting a lot of good at-bats.
We touted a pitcher's duel today, and it's certainly come true. Kirby and Schlittler both dealing.
You know, I thought that pitch to Bellinger he got rung up on was a little high, Michael. But you got to be quick. And Bellinger, you know, like you said, you have to be confident if you're going to challenge.
We had a Mariner yesterday who was too late on the challenge.
Yes.
And was denied. You have to do it right away. It was Leo Rivas. The 2-2. 3-2.
And Ben Rice has got to be one of the toughest outs in the big leagues right now. Every at-bat is quality. Again, right here, 3-2.
Runner goes, and there's a walk. So 2 walks for Kirby in the inning. First and second, 2 outs. That brings up Goldschmidt.
Kirby pitched around him right there. He didn't want any part of Ben Rice. He likes this matchup better.
Pitching coach Pete Woodworth will come out and talk with Kirby. So Kirby had 82 pitches. Grisham's at second, and Rice is at first. Yankees would like to give Schlittler a little more breathing room, and then obviously the bullpen too. Jose A. Ferrer warming. Kirby won 6 innings in his first start. He's 2 outs into the 6th here in start number 2. Seattle split the 4 games with Cleveland, and they split the 2 games with the Yankees. Now the numbers on Goldschmidt are very clear. He does damage against lefties and does not hit as well against righties, but giving Stanton a pre-planned day off, moving Goldschmidt to first, and having Ben Rice as a DH. 1-1. .247 against right-handed pitching last year, .336 against lefties. High fly ball, deep left center, going back on Rosarena, turning, looking, see ya! A 3-run home run for Goldschmidt, and the Yankees lead 4-0.
That look tells you everything you need to know. George Kirby pitches around Ben Rice, gets the matchup he wants. Better be careful for what you want sometimes.
So Goldschmidt spits in the eye of the numbers we showed you, and then does damage against the righty, a tough righty.
Yeah, the contact point out in front is the key. Get it in the air, get it pulled, get it out of here.
Two and one, so 4-0 Yankees.
Watch the contact point. In front of the plate and launched.
Right side, way up there, going back Naylor in foul territory, makes the play for the final out. But 2 walks, and then the big home run for Goldschmidt. The captain loves it. Why not? His team's up 4-0. So the man they call Goldie, first home run against a righty since June 6th of last year. This man, you look at his numbers, he is on a Hall of Fame arc, and came back to the Yankees, could have gone other places, knew he was going to have a reduced role because of Ben Rice, liked what happened last year, saw the hope this year, wanted to return, and he did, and just strikes a big blow for them. 0-1 on Rivas. 0-2 on Rivas.
Boy, a riding cut fastball there that just sailed up and in. That's the pitch, you know, that's really improved. The movement profile on it, almost Corbin Burns-like in his prime.
One and two. That is a big blow against Kirby, who's been pitching so well, but the 2 walks, and as David said, he chose to pitch to Goldschmidt. He was pitching around Rice there. Foul ball. Now it's time for Discipline That Delivers, brought to you by Vanguard. Goldschmidt delivered.
Would have made Jack Bogle proud right there.
2-2. That was the 60th pitch for Schlittler here in the 6th inning. Fernando Cruz is up.
He's been sharp early in the year so far. His splitter has been A+.
Rivas battling.
Just 62 pitches.
Yeah, why would you think that Cruz is up?
Probably a lane, you know, there's probably something in there.
Right.
If he gets into trouble, if he gets a little action on the bases, if he needs some swing and miss.
Strike 3, and Rivas knew it. That's the 6th Yankee strikeout, brought to you by your local Tri-State Audi dealers.
Running back to the inside corner. Well sequenced. A couple of cutters. Set him up for a Greg Maddux-like swing back pitch. Only it was 97.
Oh, 0-1 on Donovan. Led off the game with a double. And then Schlittler struck out Raleigh, Rodriguez, and got Naylor to fly out to left. And he's going to challenge that strike call, Donovan is. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And he gets it right, just barely. A third of an inch. 3/10 of an inch, actually.
The crowd loves it. I mean, they buzz every time it gets on the scoreboard. And it happens quickly.
You know what's interesting, David? I wonder if you feel this way. Everybody looks at it and says, well, it was overturned. That's an indictment of Lance Barrett. It was 3/10 of an inch. Just think about that. It wasn't an egregiously bad call. Most of them are not egregiously bad.
Could not agree more. The vast majority of these calls show how difficult the job is. I think at the end of the day, they're going to get more empathy, unless they're just one of those bad days where they're missing a lot of pitches by a large margin. But that's generally not the case. A lot of the calls are just like that. Makes you appreciate their job that much more, I think.
Here's what we're looking at, the ABS strike zone. The plate is 17 inches wide, and then obviously the width of the ball, if you get the lace on it, it's wider. Top to bottom, 53.5% height, 27% height on the bottom, and the depth of the strike zone is 8.5 inches. Caballero gets a nice hop. And a nice scoop there by Goldschmidt to get Donovan. That was so free and easy. That wasn't dramatic at all. Here's Cal Raleigh, 0 for 2, 3 for 23 on the season with 14 strikeouts. So the two MVP guys, first and second, the American League, both struggling.
Another good cutter for Cam Schlittler, just eating him up.
Oh, 0-2. He's been ahead all afternoon.
Good riding action on all of his pitches. Riding fastballs, riding cutters. Look at that ball just jumping up and in.
it's got to be really a proud feeling for the Yankee pitching lab, the pitching people. They produced this guy. When they got him, he was throwing 90 miles an hour as a draft pick. See what he's doing now, and they've got monsters ready to go in the minor leagues. Swing and a miss. Just exploded past Raleigh. Another 1-2-3 inning. 14 straight retired by Cam Schlittler. He's dealing. It's time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. Wow, look at all those teams. The record 141 and 186, ERA 4.23, made 411 starts. Finished with the Diamondbacks, pitched for the Yankees in 1982. A couple of years with the Mariners, 3 years with the Mariners as well. And there's a strike from the new pitcher, Jose A. Ferrer. And Rosario fouls it back.
I have to show that chart again. Veteran journeyman, yeah, that was it right there.
13 teams, right? I think we showed. Right center. Give you another look. Started with the A's. So he was on the Diamondback championship team in 2001.
Hey, you don't get 411 starts in the big leagues unless you're doing something.
Right.
They just don't keep giving you the ball.
Austin Wells fouls it off. One out here on the top of the seventh. Yankees lead 4-0. A big 3-run blow off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. Turned a 1-0 Yankee lead into a 4-0 Yankee lead. Trying to take this series. 1-2.
This is called a strike. The batter is challenging.
All right, so an ABS powered challenge by T-Mobile. Oh.
The call is confirmed. New York has one challenge remaining.
So Wells, you can see his reaction. Oh. Catchers might be better behind the plate than they are at the plate. And he probably saw Raleigh frame it and said probably was out of the strike zone. But it clipped it just barely.
The pitch is called a ball. Oh, it's challenging.
All right, so it's called a ball. And now Raleigh's challenging the ABS powered by T-Mobile. And he got it right and gets a strikeout for his pitcher.
Catcher's going tete-a-tete here. And Riley's, he's 1 for 2 back there as well himself, but he got that one.
I wonder, David, if you put 2 buttons in front of every player in baseball and said you could press keep ABS or not, what they would pick.
Keep it.
You think so?
By the end of the year, I think they will, after the adjustment period.
Because it's another responsibility, too, for everybody.
It's a responsibility that pays dividends if you're good at it.
Yep.
Help your team win. You can be afraid of technology or you can embrace it. You can sit there and moan about it if you want. I get it. That's fine. You don't have to like it. But if you're a player, you better be good at it. Because you can help your team win.
3-0 on Caballero. And you've embraced technology. I mean, some of your best friends are AI.
They are. laughing because I have a lot of hallucinations too.
3-2. Caballero's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. Ferrer gets the Yankees in order. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees up 4-0.
Time for your Ford Studio Update. Bob and Jack with you. Cam Schlittler, a machine today, part of that overall pitching machine for the Yanks.
Yeah, the Cam Schlittler show continues. The Yankees pitching dominance continues. And so far in this game, Bob, he's retired 18 of 20 batters. Of those 18 outs, 16 have come on his fastballs, either fastball, sinker, or cutter. Michael and David have detailed that. I think the sinker has been especially nasty for him today.
We'll talk about him and Goldschmidt with a big home run coming up on the postgame, guys.
Thank you, guys. 4-5-0 for the Yanks. Just 2 hits for the Mariners. Schlittler struck out 7. Has not walked a batter. Goldschmidt, the big 3-run home run. Kirby went 6. Cal Raleigh now 3 for 24 with 15 strikeouts this season. Schlittler has retired 14 straight Mariners as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. Julio Rodriguez will begin this half inning. He's 0 for 2. He just keeps pumping strikes. They bring in Ryan McMahon to tighten up the defense.
This is one of the reasons when you try to project young pitchers how good they can be. Is he a frontline starter? Is he a potential number 3 or number 1? This is why Schlittler profiles as a number 1 eventually, because of his pitch count, the way he dominates and his aggressiveness. Here in the 7th inning, he's in the 70s, his pitch count. That's because of his style.
Popped up and out of play. Part of the order for Seattle: Rodriguez, Naylor, and Arozarena. 3, 4, and 5 against Schlittler. 77 pitches for the young right-hander. He's at 3-2, yet to walk a batter. 4-0 lead. He does not want a free pass. He might come right at Julio Rodriguez. And he does. Ground ball. Caballero. And another scoop by Goldschmidt. He saved Caballero 2 errors in 2 innings. And here comes Aaron Boone. 79 pitches for Schlittler, and he's going to go to the bullpen. Certainly not a pitch count situation. We'll find out why the move with Meredith on the postgame, but right now they go to the pen. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Vanguard, opening week is brought to you by Vanguard. Discipline that delivers. And by the New York Lottery, this could be your lucky play. Some of the players that have modeled both uniforms.
And Michael, speaking of Ichiro Suzuki, he is around here quite a bit as a special advisor. And I don't know if you were paying attention during Mariners BP the other day. He was out there going through a complete full workout in the outfield. He's very close with Julio Rodriguez. They talk a lot. He's served as a mentor to Rodriguez over the years. But it is wild. This guy in the Hall of Fame, but could probably still play out there tracking balls in center and right field.
It is amazing, Meredith. He prepares for each game as if he's playing that game, and he's been retired for 6 years.
Challenging the pitch.
Well, there's going to be a challenge on this one. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And Naylor gets it right.
Return, Seattle has 1 remaining.
Fernando Cruz called on. Fouled away. So Ichiro had his number retired last year. And Randy Johnson, they wanted to retire his number, which is also 51. And he said, no, that day belongs to Ichiro. I'll do it next year. Next year is this year, so it will be a double number 51 retired. The Yankees have one of those, number 8, for Bill Dickey and Yogi Berra. So the Mariners will have 2 number 51s retired. And boy, did Ichiro return or deserve that retired number. Look at those numbers.
The stories about Ichiro are legendary. Back to his childhood, a room with a batting cage right outside of his room that he lived. Every day, batting practice. It was his life. So you can understand why he still wants to do it now. Direct hit.
And they're going to check out Lance Barrett.
Oof. Tough one. Rattle your teeth. There's a good sign.
No, it was such a joy when Ichiro ended up having that short period of time with the Yankees, because you got a chance to see how greatness displays itself. His bats were carried in cases like it was a Stradivarius. I mean, he took care of his bats as if it was a very, very delicate instrument, and the way he prepared and the way he stretched before each game, I believe he still could play in the big leagues. I don't know if he'd be a Hall of Fame caliber player, but he's in the same shape as he was when he played.
Did you see what he was doing in Japan as a pitcher? Pitching against a young female team as a pitcher, professional league, I believe. But yeah, that's the kind of guy he is. He's great. He went out on the mound. He's throwing 85 miles an hour right now.
So Barrett is okay. He'll stay in the game. 1-2 count on Naylor. Popped up. McMahon gets right to work, puts it away, 2 away. Tim Hill's ready. But before you go to Hill, Cruz has to either get out of this inning or face 3 batters. Here's the Rosarena. Slitler had a lot of innings last year, more than he'd ever pitched. And the Yankees will keep strict pitch counts at the beginning of the season. So they wanted him from 75 to 80 in this game, and it was at 77, and certainly he had done his job.
If you remember, he got off to a little bit of a slow start. Had a little, Meredith told us about I think it was his back issue, or certainly not exceptionally slow start, but a little bit behind the other starters. So yeah, they're clearly in protective mode of their young star.
Three and 2.
Right there.
Yankees, though, they have to be thrilled from what they've seen from Slitler. The performance last year against the Red Sox, and then to start the season this way. Wow.
He's better.
Strike three. Rosarena down looking. So the Yankees, 2 pitchers, retire them 1-2-3. The New York Yankee Foundation's opening day 50-50 raffle is open now. This Friday, April 3rd, is the home opener and has a guaranteed jackpot starting at $50,000. One lucky fan will take home half the pot, and the other half benefits the Yankees Foundation. Buy your tickets now at Yankees.com/50-50. Cooper Criswell will take over for Seattle and start in the 8th inning. Yankees lead 4-0. And there's a strike to Grisham, top of the order for the Yanks. Criswell had 3 shutout innings, got the save, closing out Sunday's win over Cleveland. He's 29 years old, 6 big league season. Mets picked him up off waivers from Boston in December, then traded him to Seattle in January for cash. There's a strike. Last season, he was up and down with the Red Sox and Worcester, their AAA team. 8 times up and down. They often used him as a 27th man for doubleheaders.
That's why when you hear general managers make these sort of under-the-radar trades, it's all about, does he have options left? Can we do that to him? If you have options left, you're so much more valuable in a trade.
First base, fair ball. 1 down. Doval warming for the Yanks. Here's Judge. He's 0 for 3 today. Yankees lead 4-0. They have 5 hits. Seattle 2 hits. Grounded to third. Donovan. Bad throw. And Judge beats it out. Gets in ahead of the tag by Naylor. That'll be an E5 on Donovan.
Good adjustment. I mean, 2 big boys right there. You don't want to see that collision.
And that is officially scored an E5. Here's Bellinger. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, stolen base, and a run scored. And a strike. Center field. Rodriguez drifting back will make the play. Judge tags, but just draws the throw. That brings up Rice. He had a big hit in the first inning. Runner at second, 2 men out, and he ripped the double to right. That drove in the first run, and the Yankees have not looked back. They had the 3-run home run by Goldschmidt in the 6th, and they're leading 4-0 in the 8th. There's Goldschmidt.
Pitch is called the ball, the catcher is challenging.
It's called the ball, and Raleigh's going to challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And he's wrong.
The call is confirmed. Seattle is out of challenge.
So no more challenges for Seattle. 0.1. That's how much it missed. I think, as David mentioned earlier, this ABS system is going to show you that most of the umpires are just extraordinary.
I agree. And it's a wake-up call for a lot of the players who think, oh, that everything's a strike. Well, now you know. The proof is in the pudding right now. It's a great equalizer in my mind, and I think eventually the umpires will settle into it and feel less pressure and be recognized for how good they are.
Judge goes. The strike, the throw. Got it. Now they turn to the Yankee dugout, see if they're going to challenge. Boone holds up his right hand. He's out. So they will not challenge. A good throw by Raleigh. And a quick tag on the knee by Rivas. Time to name that Yankee, a guy who modeled many uniforms in his career. Started with the A's. See the numbers. An 8. So that means it's hard one. And the answer is Mike Morgan.
Great guy. And he knew everybody because he played for everybody.
And 1 week after graduating high school, Charlie Finley, the owner of the A's, billed him as the next Nolan Ryan. Got a big crowd when he started him right away. 1 week after graduating high school. And as you said, didn't have a 500 record, but he must have had the goods because they kept giving him the ball.
Can you imagine graduating high school in June and then your first start is in the big leagues at 18 years old? That was Charlie Finley.
And it happened with David Clyde, too. And it could really ruin you. Camilo Doval, the Yankees' third pitcher. Schlittler started, won 6 in the third. Then Cruz got the final 2 outs of the 7th. Now Doval. One and 2. 7 and 11 in 1982 with the Yankees. Made 23 starts. Won a world championship with the Dodgers. All-star with the Diamondbacks. All-star with the Dodgers. And his major league debut at age 18. Now, a funny story with our colleague, or former colleague, now retired, Ken Singleton. In that game, he pitched against the Orioles, and he was billed as his first game as the next Nolan Ryan. And the first time up, Kenny took a pitch, and he turned to Lee May, who was on the on-deck circle, and he said, "This is not Nolan Ryan."
Nobody in the history was ever Nolan Ryan.
One, 2. Grounded foul. Check out the Yankee bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Last night, they just used Hill for 7 pitches, Hedrick for 10, as Fried pitched 7 strong. So the bullpen in good shape, but tomorrow's an off day. First base, the flip to Doval, and they just get the hustling rally for out number 1. And one more note about Morgan, David. He debuted at 18, and he finished at the age of 42. That's a good run.
Incredible run. Fun guy to hang out with, fun-loving guy. That long in the big leagues and that kind of experience and what he went through, he was a great guy to hang out with.
Probably has stories, huh?
Oh, he's got some stories. Fun.
Now, if David Cohn is telling me he's fun,
yes,
I'm assuming he was fun.
See, come on down. Yes.
Camilo Doval on the mound right now. He is the guy that is likely going to bridge the gap to David Bednar at the end of games. Last year, he struggled when he came over to the Yankees. And speaking to Matt Blake, the Yankees hitting coach, as we see a single right here from Dominic Canzone. Matt Blake, the pitching coach, he told me they spent a lot of time this offseason trying to get his delivery right. They looked at a lot of video from 2023 when he was right and he was an all-star, and they noticed first and foremost his left foot last year was out too far towards third base. They made it so it's a bit more parallel, which creates, as he goes through his delivery, a better line to home plate. As a result, he's been better able to pound the strike zone. And David, we've talked about it before, his sinker this year has looked so good. Certainly is going to be a weapon out of this Yankees bullpen.
Runner goes, throw to second, into center field. Canzone does not know it's in center, so he'll stay put at second.
Tough pitch kind of to get set on for a catcher. The ball's running away, so he had to kind of throw across his body. Caballero does his job. Holds him there.
Line drive left field. It's a base hit in front of Bellinger. They're going to hold Canzone at third. It's a single for Young as the Mariners are trying to rally here in the 8th inning. First and third, one man out.
Well, Young's been that guy. He's the Huckleberry in this series against the Yankees. Every at-bat has been tough. Is that the right use of Huckleberry? Is that the way Rizzuto used it?
I've really never used it that way. Here's Rivas. Yankees back for the double play. David Bednar getting ready here in the 8th inning. Has not been used in this series. And there's an off day tomorrow, so if they need him to get 4 outs, 5 outs, they would ask him to do that. Good slider, 0-2.
Yeah, that one disappeared. Looked like it was right down the middle, and then it's gone.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Rivas down on strikes. Big strikeout for Doval.
Back-to-back spinners. This one right on top of home plate. And you know, Michael, I believe in that kind of pitch. I used to work on throwing breaking balls on top of home plate. You'll be surprised how many swings and misses you get if you can bounce a breaking ball right on top of home plate. Case in point, big strikeout there for Doval.
There's Donovan. 1 for 3. He doubled in the first inning against Schlittler. Now Seattle is out of challenges. So there is nothing they can do about a bad call. The Yankees have 1 challenge remaining. Well, you walk him. That brings up Cal Raleigh. He had the 60 home runs last year as the tying run. And he does walk him, and that loads the bases. So Boone has to decide who's the better matchup with Raleigh. Is it Bednar? Is it Doval? And with Boone coming out of the dugout, they think it's Bednar. So things were going so swimmingly, and all of a sudden, Cal Raleigh is the tying run, and the Yankee closer coming in the 8th. Well, the Yankees' home opener is Friday afternoon as the Bombers face off against the Miami Marlins in the Bronx. Start your game day at noon on YES with expanded pregame coverage, including all the lineups and pageantry from the stadium. Then first pitch will be shortly after 1:30 on YES and the Gotham Sports app. Last year, Judge won the MVP. Raleigh came in second. 60 home runs, 125 ribbies. Judge beat him out in a close race, and Raleigh and Judge have both gotten off to rocky starts. Raleigh 3 for 24 with 15 strikeouts, but he's up there as the tying run against David Bednar. And a strike. Good curveball. He saved 2 already this year. Raleigh 2 strikeouts and a pop to first. 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Two and one. Line drive, it's a base hit to right field. 2-run score. Moving to third is Donovan. It's a 2-run single for Raleigh. And now it's 4-2 Yankees.
Well, Raleigh was struggling against hard stuff all day long, but it was Cam Schlittler. But he got a steady diet of off speed in this at-bat. Splitter, curveball for a strike, splitter there up and away. Fastball up and in. And then another splitter that just kind of stays there. Allows him to reach out there and hook it.
Here is Julio Rodriguez. Fouls it straight back. So now Raleigh at first base is the tying run. Donovan is at third. The go-ahead run is at home plate. Rodriguez. Before this inning, it was a rocking chair game for the Yankees. Just free and easy. Schlittler dominating. Cruz coming in, dominating. But Doval runs into trouble, and now Bednar gives up that 2-run single to Raleigh. And the Mariners are right back in it. One and two.
Setup pitch right there. High fastball, off speed down, maybe splitter.
Splitter fouled off.
Had him out in front. Good job by Rodriguez, just fighting that off a little bit, staying alive.
Rodriguez staying alive.
Just a little better chase pitch and he can give him. The art of the chase. Make it look like a strike, but make it unhittable if you can. Get it down a little bit more. And a 1-2 count, you can go back up top too if you want, because Rodriguez will chase.
Hits are even at 5 apiece. Yankees lead 4-2, bottom of the 8th inning. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Grounded foul. The battle continues. And remember, if he gets Rodriguez, he has 3 more outs to get in the bottom of the 9th inning. Crowd of 23,415 at T-Mobile Park. Swing and a miss. He got him on the splitter. And the Yankees hold on to the lead. Seattle creeps closer, puts 2 on the board. They lead 2. We go to the 9th. Well, fans, Yankee games on Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, including for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download and sign into the Gotham Sports app now and check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game sound, and much more. Ben Rice leads off the 9th inning. First pitch is up and in. 1-0. Cooper Criswell in for a 2nd inning of work. Rice 1 for 2 with a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. Two and 1. Driven deep to right field. Going back rally. Track. Wall. See ya. Ben Rice red hot with a solo home run. Yankees lead 5-2.
The look of a hitter who is locked in early in the season.
Goldschmidt grounds it up the middle. Grabbed there by Young to throw to first. What a nice play by Seattle's second baseman.
Ben Rice crushes it. By the time it lands, it's 427 feet away.
Here's Jazz Chisholm. 1-0. That's a big home run because it takes some of the momentum away from Seattle. Feeling good about things. They got the 2 runs. They still have a bottom of the 9th inning, and Rice with 1 swing takes it away.
He's a dangerous hitter right now. And if you watch the Yankees last year, you could see it coming. He had a great year last year, but he's got more to give. Kind of felt like, he was a little unlucky last year with his exit velocity, how hard he hits the ball. The thing that's most impressive is his control of the strike zone. He just gets really good at bats, deep at bats, good pitches to hit. Watch out for Ben Rice in the American League this year. That guy is dangerous right now.
Two and 2 on Jazz Chisholm Jr. Jazz 1 for 3. He was caught stealing. And he strikes out for out number 2. Let's take a look at framing runs. The best since 2024 is Patrick Bailey, then Alejandro Kirk of the Blue Jays, and Wells with 23, Raleigh with 20. Carshield defensive player profile. And Rosario takes inside 1-0. This is McMahon, who came in for Rosario. Tighten up the defense. And he lost one into left field. Rosarena puts it away, and that'll do it. So Ben Rice leads off the inning with a loud, long, emphatic home run. Rice, 2 big hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Yankees with 2 home runs in the game. Rice last half inning, and then Paul Goldschmidt. Take a look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum. Goldschmidt 105.3 off the bat, traveled 406 feet, and Rice has traveled 427. The Goldschmidt home run was worth 3 runs. So that's who Bednar has to navigate. 4, 5, and 6 in the order, starting with Josh Naylor.
Yeah, that was the old catfish hunter theory, right? Solo shots won't beat you. Those 3-run shots, they burn.
Well, the Yankees hold on. Obviously, the home runs are big, but the story is going to be Schlittler pitching as well as he did. Now, when you look at overall pitch counts that usually get pitchers, his 77 pitch count, very reasonable. But because he hasn't been built up, he had a slow start in spring training, they're being very careful with him, and they were keeping him to between 75 and 80. But the 77, that's not what got him. It's the established pitch count that they want to take him slowly. That's what got him. Because you can't be more efficient than 77 pitches.
Yeah, 0 walks. His confidence is growing with each time he takes the mound.
So his first start, he threw 69 pitches, then he moves up in this one. And they're not taking chances with this guy. When you're watching the game, you're seeing him dominate, you want to see him continue, but they're thinking, I guess, longer term. Not I guess, I know that's what they're thinking.
Well, you said it, Michael. I mean, what a feather in the cap to have a homegrown star in the making. That's just a feel-good story up and down throughout the organization, as you pointed out earlier. And more on the way.
Two and 2 on Naylor, who's 0 for 3 and 1 for 26 on the season. Jazz Chisholm from the outfield grass. 1 away. Well, fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from the manager. Plus, a look ahead to Friday's home opener against the Marlins. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame. So here's a Rosarena, 0 for 3 today. 0-1. Got a shot of Will Warren there, who's going to start the home opener for the Yankees against Eury Perez of the Marlins. Yankees with the off days going with 4 starters, and when they decide to go to the 5th, that's going to be Luis Gil that gets called up from AAA. 2-2 on a Rosarena. Three and 2. Line drive, and it's off the heel of the glove of McMahon. And that allows a Rosarena to reach. He's going to go for 2, and he's going to make it. Ball must have knuckled on McMahon because that was right at him. Looked like it got him on the heel.
Almost took it off his noggin, too. Got him on the way by. A little scary there for a minute. Seems like he's okay. But...
yeah, it wasn't quite the heel. It was the side of the glove. Maybe it knuckled on him. And then to score that a double. Luke Raley fouls it back. Checks the swing and the count 1-1. Tim Hill getting ready just in case. Bednar's already at 26 pitches. Shattered bat. Backhanded by Caballero. The throw to first. Got him. Seattle down to its final out. As Rosarena stays put at second.
Severed in 2 is the bat. Raley can run a little bit, so you put a little pressure, even though Fronter from the left side is getting down the line, so Caballero's got to get rid of it, and he does.
And here's Dominic Canzone. And the home run by Rice takes away some of the pressure they'd be feeling right now. It's a 3-run lead, not a 2-run lead. He could hit a ball out of this ballpark, and still the Yankees are leading. Line drive, it's a base hit. Cutting over his Judge. Rosarena scores. Canzone with an RBI single. Seattle still alive. It's 5-3, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Got a curveball that just kind of stays right there on the plate. Got him pulled out in front, but nice adjustment.
And here's Cole Young, who's been a pest this entire series. 1 for 3 today. Yankees do not hold Canzone. And they're not holding Canzone because that run doesn't mean anything, and they want to guard against the extra base hit. If one gets by Goldschmidt, then all of a sudden, Young is at second base with the tying run. Foul ball. They're making Bednar work. Came in to get out of a jam in the 8th. And now trying to get the final 3 outs here in the 9th. And pick up his 3rd save of the season. The runner goes. The ball gets away from Wells, and Canzone will stop at second. That's defensive indifference. And that takes away a force. So 1-2 on Young. Bednar deals. 3-2. 34 pitches for the Yankee closer. Rivas on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a foul ball. Seattle has out-hit the Yankees 7-6. Yankees lead 5-3. Canzone leads off second. The 2-2. Still 2-2. Bednar sets. And the pitch. 3-2. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up. And the payoff. Making it work. First game 2-1 Seattle. Yesterday 5-0 Yankees. This one 5-3 Yankees. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Skied the other way. McMahon gives it a look, so does Bellinger, but it makes the seats. About to become a 10-pitch at bat. High fly ball, right field. Judge back. He's there. And the Yankees hold on and win 5-3. They hit the road at the start of the season, and they'll be coming home with a 5-1 record.
Great road trip, well pitched all the way around. Cam Schlittler was utterly dominant today as he keeps on keeping on. And the Yankees hold on at the end.
A little bit of everything. Great pitching, power. The home run by Goldschmidt, the home run by Rice, and that guy. That's the story. And the Yankees starting has been the story every time. Through the rotation so far, they've all given a pretty credible outing. Some of them incredible outings.
Yes, collectively, outstanding.
Well, that young man picks up his 2nd win. The Yankees pick up their 5th win in 6 games. Great start to the season. We're not done. Come on back. Yankees win 5-3. We take a look at the game-changing drive of the game brought to you by Audi and the all-new Audi Q3.
Got to go back to the 6th inning, 2-1. Just walked Ben Rice and Mr. Goldschmidt deposits that one right out there in the bullet. A big blast. He's done that once or twice in his career.
Now we'll hear from him with Meredith on the postgame show. Now it's time for the Chevy Player of the Game.
Well, it has to be this guy. I mean, what a performance today. 21 for 29 in strikes with that four-seamer. That was the key. He also had 18 swing and misses with that pitch. He had cutters and sinkers, but really that four-seamer was the one that he got all the swings and misses with.
6 1/3, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, didn't walk a batter. He's 2-0. Bednar, a nail biter, but his third save. George Kirby took the loss. Cal Raleigh did have the 2-run single in the 8th. It took 2 hours and 37 minutes. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again on Friday as the Yankees celebrate their home opener at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 12 on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 1:30. Once again, the final score, the New York Yankees 5, the Seattle Mariners 3. For David Cohn and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by patiently with the postgame show. Guys.
And it's great to have you with us here on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Yankees win the finale in Seattle 5-3. Mariners throwing a few punches late, but Jack, they couldn't land any punches early against Cam Schlittler. Pitched terrific again. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, we are watching an emerging ace in Cam Schlittler when he gets on the mound and just dominates in the fashion that he does, Bob. He didn't only dominate today, he did it in an efficient manner. He did it under control, and he did it with fastballs. He retired 19 of 21 Mariners today. Bob, he threw 79 pitches. 70 of them were fastballs. Four-seamers, two-seamers, cutters. He said to the Mariners, these are my best pitches. I'm going to keep tunneling them and keep throwing them from my distinct delivery point and see if you guys can do any damage. They didn't do any damage at all. He's able to climb into the 7th inning. The Yankees had him on a pitch count, so that's why he was removed. They didn't want him to go above 80 pitches. As you said, got a little sticky in the end. The bullpen gave up a few runs, but he was supported by a 3-run homer from Goldschmidt, and Rice also knocked in a couple of runs. So a 5-1 West Coast trip to start the season. It was the pitching that carried the Yankees there.
No doubt about that. Let's take a look at Schlittler. He won his first 2 games of the season a week ago against the Giants. And then, Jack, coming into this one, he becomes the optimum player of the game because, again, no runs allowed in this one again and just 2 hits.
Yeah, he starts off Raleigh in that first inning with a 96-mile-per-hour four-seamer. The next batter is Julio Rodriguez. You could see that four-seamer, which had some movement on it. Bottom of the second, 1-out runner on first. Canzone has no shot at that high fastball. Bottom of the third, he gets Rivas on a sinker. 2 outs in the 5th. It's a cutter to Cole Young. Look at the arm side movement, glove side movement on that pitch. Bottom of the 6th, Rivas. He has nothing that he can do against that sinker. And then one more time, still in the 6th, he gets Raleigh once again. So absolute dominance. Another one of those days where you want to hear what the Mariners hitters have to say about Schlittler because he shut them down.
Memorable moments in Yankees history presented by Prevagen, made for your brain. First pitcher in Yankees history with no runs and no walks and 15 or more strikeouts in any 2-game span. His 99 strikeouts through his first 16 career starts, 4th most in Yankees history. And then for the entire starting rotation, an ERA of .53 through the first 6 games. That is the lowest in Major League history. I'm focusing on the zeros up top, 0 runs, but also in his first 2 starts, 15 strikeouts and no walks, which means he's right in the zone. He's challenging guys and saying, it's my best stuff against you. Let's see what happens.
That's the part I was talking about, Bob, with the efficiency and being under control. He knows that he has a certain pitch limit. You start walking batters and you start getting yourself into trouble, you're never going to get as deep into the game as he did. So I think every season we watch a young pitcher evolve, and that's one of the ways that Schlittler is evolving. Walks were an issue for him last season. Not penetrating your pitches into the zone as often as possible, that did become a problem for him. But as you said, these 2 starts, it's just been absolute dominance in and around the zone, just pounding the zone with strikes.
And we talked about the reemergence eventually of Cole, of Rodon. So you wanted the Yankees rotation, said, can they be good because they're going to get better? They've been great so far, and we showed in that graphic, Jack, like historically great.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you start the season in the way that they did. It can camouflage some of the other things that maybe aren't going as well. You look up and down that Yankee box score after today's game, and Ben Rice is hitting over 400 and Bellinger is hitting close to 300. But there are a lot of hitters, quite frankly, who haven't produced to the level that the Yankees believe that they will. Judge, who is on the hunt for a third straight MVP, is one of them. But when you get this clean, precise pitching as the Yankees have, your games look clean. Your games look precise. And, yes, it did get sticky at the end because Doval had an adventurous eighth. But Bednar came in, got those final 4 outs, and then is able to get the Young at the end to close out this game.
Yeah, offense for both teams very quiet in the early going in this one. Yankees strike first with that 1-0 lead. That lets Schlittler settle in. But let's take a look at things as they developed offensively in our highlights presented by your local Ford stores. And let's start top of the 6th. George Kirby facing Trent Grisham leading off the inning. Takes the inside sinker, ball 4, so that sets the table. Now, Kirby got the next 2 outs, but remember last night, Jack, good 2-out hitting. It happened again tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see Ben Rice right there get a low changeup. We talked about how Kirby doesn't really walk anyone. David Cone said he was pitching around Rice, the lefty. He wanted to go after the righty. Not good strategy. We see that fastball that was up. Goldschmidt hammers it into left for a 3-run shot, his first of the season, first against a righty since last June. 4-0 Yankees.
And let's go bottom of the 8th. Camilo Doval in facing Brendan Donovan. He's got 2 on, 2 out, and Doval just too wild today. Walks the batter, loads the bases. They've got to go to the bullpen.
Yeah, with an off day tomorrow and Bednar having had a few days off, you bring him in for the potential 4-out save. And Raleigh, who's had a rough start to the season, even though he had a walk-off in this series, he takes that splitter into right for a base hit. 2 score, and the Mariners, who couldn't produce against Schlittler, get 2 against the Yankee bullpen.
So you're still in a good spot. Bednar against Julio Rodriguez. You preserve the 2-run lead there. He gets the strikeout to end the inning. But then top of the 9th, Cooper Criswell in facing Ben Rice leading off, and Rice drills that one, gets a run back.
Yeah, he's ahead in the count, 2-1. He recognizes changeup out of Criswell's hand. He takes it out of the ballpark. David Cone said it during the game. I agree. Rice having as good at-bats as anyone in baseball.
Then it got a little sticky there in the 9th, but Bednar with a man on second, a run in, gets Cole Young to fly out to right. Jack, that was a 10-pitch at-bat for Bednar, but he closes things out. Most home runs for active players. Giancarlo Stanton, who had the day off, 454, but Goldschmidt teeing off on the righty, 373, so a big impact from him, which this is what they envisioned for him. There's no doubt about that when he re-signed with the team. Right after the game, Meredith Marakovits had the chance to talk to Goldie on the field.
Paul, David Bednar grinded there in that 9th inning, but ultimately closed the door. You guys go 5-1 on this West Coast road trip to start the season. What did you learn about this team in the early going?
Just, a good start, and we just try to take it day by day. Our pitching did unbelievable on this road trip. We know it's going to be a long year. We're just going to do everything we can to win as many games as possible, and a good start.
You mentioned the pitching. You have to mention Cam Schlittler. Again, he set the tone there this afternoon. Just when you look at his stuff, what do you think allows him to have so much success on the mound?
He's got 4 or 5 different pitches, and he pounded the zone tonight. He really located well. This whole road trip, I don't think we had many walks from a pitcher standpoint. Kept those guys on their heels and let our defense make plays, and it's a good recipe for success.
Ben Rice drove in the first run there in that first inning, and then you contributed in the 6th. George Kirby can be tough. What adjustments did you make in that 3rd at-bat that allowed you to drive the ball?
Honestly, not any adjustments. He made some pitches on me. He gave me something to hit. My first goal bat, so I fouled off, and fortunately that mistake I was able to hit and get it out of there. Try not to overthink it and just try when they make a mistake to hit it hard, and hopefully it's a hit.
After a long week on the road to start the season, you guys are heading back home. You'll be in the Bronx on Friday night. What do you think that environment is going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I know the crowd's been waiting for us. It's been a long off season. We're ready to get home and get going.
I'll appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks.
Send it back to you.
Thank you, Meredith. I want to go back to what I was saying about Goldschmidt, the fact that he wanted to come back. He's a good fit for this team. He's going to play sparingly, but wasn't today sort of the perfect scenario? As hot as Stanton's been, they wanted to give him the day off, so they moved Rice to DH, who had a big impact, and then Goldschmidt does as well.
Savvy move by the Yankees to bring him back and for him to understand that it's going to be a different role, Bob. Last year, Ben Rice was the understudy. He's the understudy no longer. Ben Rice is going to be your starting first baseman. Goldschmidt understands that, and as a veteran, he doesn't mind playing second fiddle to Rice, but he also doesn't mind playing first fiddle in situations like this. We talked about how good a pitcher Kirby is, but he got himself in trouble in that inning, Bob, with a couple of walks, and when a pitcher does that, you have to make him pay. Goldschmidt did. I like the lineup moves that the Yankees made today. You're not going to run Stanton out there for an immeasurable amount of games in a row. Now, I know this was only 6 games in a row, but it's the off day tomorrow that was key. They want him to have that off day. You put Goldschmidt in there, you get the defense, you get Rice off his feet, and you allow him to DH. And as I said, on your bench, those players need to understand their roles. And sometimes that role is you're not going to play as much. But when you do, you need to be ready. Goldschmidt will be ready all season.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up. We're going to hear from the manager, Aaron Boone, when we come back. His guys take 2 of 3 in Seattle as they get ready to head home for Friday's home opener.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Count on who but WB Mason for next day free business delivery of Blizzard Spring Water. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Welcome back inside our Yes Network studio, powered by Optimum Business. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you on the WB Mason postgame, recapping a 5-3 Yankees win in the series finale in Seattle. Yankees with 6 hits, actually in the end out hit by the Mariners, but 2 big blows, a 3-run homer off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt, another one in the 9th to get that 5th run off the bat of Ben Rice, and then Cam Schlittler locked in for 6 1/3. 2-hit shutout baseball against the Mariners. Time to hear from Aaron Boone about the win in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, not always easy to start the season on the West Coast. You guys closed it out today, 5-1 on the road trip. Just what do you think overall of the way this team is playing right now?
Yeah, really good baseball. Obviously pitching at a really high level. I thought the defense was excellent on the trip overall. Some timely hitting, a couple big homers along the way, but just really good baseball and a good way to open the season and head back home into an off day and hopefully start off a nice homestand.
The second straight start, Cam appeared to be dominant out there. Just what has been standing out to you about the way he's throwing and just 79 pitches? Is it tough to take him out at that point knowing that he's kind of on a pitch count?
No, not tough to take him out, but exciting to just see how dominant his stuff is and just filling up the strike zone. Ahead in counts, got some early outs today, where they're not wanting to necessarily fall behind, and so that allowed him to get pretty deep in that game, with a pitch count. So he's throwing the ball incredibly well, obviously, and just set the tone for us today.
When he gets ahead as often as he was today, just what does that do for him on the mound?
I think any pitcher would tell you, grabbing strike one or generally speaking, having count leverage your way, is only going to make you that much better. And when you have his stuff and his command, it's going to put you in a good spot.
How locked in do you feel like Ben Rice is right now?
Yeah, his at-bat's been outstanding this whole series. Really the entire trip, but especially this series. I feel like, man, he's the patience, not missing his pitches. He's found a couple holes, and then really good swing on that last changeup to extend the lead for us on a no-doubter to right center. So he feels dialed into me, and obviously we know what he's capable of.
What's impressed you most about Cam in these first 2 starts?
Maybe. Look, it's a great fastball and a couple versions of that fastball with the sinker and the four seam and the cutter. But his ability, we talked about the strike throwing a lot last year when he came up, and it didn't necessarily manifest itself because he had some walks, but they weren't wild walks. They were a lot of long at bats where he'd lose a guy. His calling card from since he got in the organization was his ability to throw strikes with his fastball especially. And now, as he's gone to another level, from a stuff standpoint, that's really served him well.
When Paul hit that home run, that bench erupted.
Yeah.
What does he mean to this team?
He's such a big part of that group in there. One of the heartbeats in there. He's been great for our culture ever since he walked in the doors last year. And I think when he hits that ball, I think everyone gets probably a little extra excited because they want it for him, because they know how much he gives to that room.
Are you surprised at all by how Cam has handled this? You don't see a lot of young pitchers come up and kind of almost straight dominate the way he has.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to this level maybe. When we called him up last year, I know I was excited about it and felt like he was going to really help our rotation. But to the level he's done it this early, I don't know that we could have predicted that.
Your starters, you've been up 2 runs in 6 games, I think. Can you just put your head around that being in this game a long time?
Yeah, I mean, what a week of pitching. Credit to those guys for just, along with, I feel like Wellesley and JC and the pitching group just, coming up with a really good game plan, and those starting pitchers going out there and executing at a really high level.
There's a big guy that has, I think, pitched 51 time with Pittsburgh. You took him into the 40s last year. Do you get worried about his pitch count? I think it was 40 today.
Yeah, that was very uncomfortable. Was not comfortable going that far, but obviously had Timmy Hill up there, and but the righties they have sitting over there as well, that they're going to shoot there at any time. So hoping he can get through. But yeah, once he got to the mid-30s, it's an uncomfortable place to be over there as a manager, especially at this point in the season. But what a good job of not giving in.
Was that his last batter?
I was hoping to get him through Rivas if we had to get there. But as the young at bat continue to move on, probably yes.
Fantastic pregame. Did Volpe take batting practice today, to your knowledge, or?
I think so. I haven't got a report though, but I'm assuming he did. Yeah.
One thing that's been sort of a theme, certainly last year when Schlittler was pitching well, but this season as well. Could you expect that he be as good and as dominant, and can you believe the confidence that he has? We discussed that on the pregame. It's not cockiness, but there's a confidence that he thinks he can beat anybody with his best stuff.
There's a confidence, there's a swagger. I loved Aaron Boone's answer there where he kind of chuckled and said, I'm not sure we expected this quickly, because he has been a pitching comet. And on a day like today, Bob, where you look at Schlittler was clearly the most important Yankee on the field. Offensively, you had Goldschmidt and Rice, but let's focus on Rice. You've got Rice, who was a 12th round pick out of Dartmouth, and you've got Schlittler, who was a 7th round pick out of Northeastern. There are a lot of people in the Yankee organization right now who are very proud on a day like today, because when you have players who are drafted in those rounds having the impact that these two are having already and are likely to have going forward. I mean, Schlittler looks like somebody who should be on the All-Star team. Rice last year was top 10 in the American League in slugging percentage and just getting better and better. Just 2 major victories for the Yankees in terms of their draft process and what they've gotten out of these players.
Yeah, Boone mentioned, threw a highlight on Rice in this series. 12 plate appearances, on base 8 times. He was big time. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Cam Schlittler. More on him as he dominated today, improving to 2-0 on this young season. Stick around.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi. Experience the all-new Audi Q3 at your local Tri-State Audi dealer. The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on.
Cam Schlittler providing the FanDuel Casino thrills of the game. 7 more strikeouts to go with the 8 he had in the opener against the Giants. And in our pitching decisions presented by Sage, look at the top 3 categories. All of his fastballs, the 4-seamer, the cutter, and the sinker, he went to those. Absolutely dominant. Really no need for the curveball or the slider. But he got to 79 pitches, allowed just the 2 hits. Dominant again. Let's hear from Schlittler.
Cam, what allowed you once again to not only be effective but incredibly efficient in the process this afternoon?
Yeah, I think again, just it was like last start, just being in the zone, making good pitches. Defense was great, so again, just having the confidence to go out there. Again, no walks, limit that, and again, just attack the zone and do what I can to get as far as I can with limited amount of pitches.
Talk about attacking zone, but was there something in particular, a pitch in particular, that you felt really good about this afternoon?
It's kind of all around. Early on it was the 4-seam. Middle of the game it was a 2-seam, and then later on it was the cutter. So again, felt pretty strong with the game plan I had, and just attacking guys with those 3 pitches.
Is the command what you're happiest with after these first 2 starts?
Yeah. Again, I think obviously the goal is to limit walks. I think I've done a really good job so far with that. Again, limiting base runners. So going out there throwing with lead and kind of limiting the traffic definitely makes things easier.
Starters have given up 2 runs in the first 6 games. What's it been like just kind of doing it one after the other and building on each other?
Yeah, again, I think the staff's dominant. Bullpen's been great as well. So I think the team as a whole, just feeding off each other and again, taking it each game and each start and just keep rolling with it.
But going home with a 4-2 record. West Coast trip. Going home 4 on 5-1.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I think again they got a great team, great lineup. So. Take the series here, and after San Fran is a good feeling, and go home, confident, playing Friday. Yeah,
was it tough to shrug off when the leadoff guy ambushes the first pitch of the game, or he just sort of?
Yeah, it doesn't happen that much, but that's part of the game. So again, being able to settle in, continue to pound the zone is I think the biggest thing. Just not trying to shy away after a leadoff, fastball, double down the line.
Straight to end the game. What's that feeling like when you're kind of on cruise control there?
Yeah, it's good. Again, I think the offense is gives you that cushion. You can go out there and pound the zone. So yeah, the biggest thing is just pitching with the lead and making sure I'm taking care of what I need to do. And again, being efficient, limiting the walks, limiting the hits, getting the strikeouts is a good way to put the team in a position to win.
He's starting to handle the post-game interviews like he does pitching on the mound. It's very methodical, to the point. I've got the stuff. I'm going to challenge you.
Matter-of-factly.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more you expect to do it. And when Meredith asked him about maybe which pitch he thought was the best pitch tonight, I thought his answer was both amusing, Bob, but also telling. Well, I like the 4-seamer early. I like the 2-seamer in the middle of the game. I like the cutter late. That would be like going to a chef and saying, so what was the favorite part of the meal? I thought the appetizer was good. I thought the entree was good. And, yeah, the dessert was good, too. But I think all of that is a confident pitcher just telling you, I'm not surprised that I'm doing any of this. And having had the chance to talk to Schlittler a couple of times in spring training, he is expecting big things, as he should. He believes that when he has his stuff like he did today, that he should be able to shut teams down.
We got to take another break. Stick around. More to come on the WB Mason postgame recap of this 5-3 Yankees win. They take a 5-1 record back home Friday. We'll talk a little more ahead as well about the home opener, so stick around.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
The Yankees home opener is Friday afternoon as the Bombers face off against the Miami Marlins in the Bronx. Start your game day at noon with expanded pregame coverage, including all the lineups and pageantry from the stadium. And then first pitch will be shortly after 1:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And the Yanks excited to come home 5-1. But Jack, also to now maybe a sense of rhythm and normalcy. They played the exclusive season opener Wednesday, off Thursday, played Friday and Saturday, off Sunday, and then the 3-game series in the West Coast time zone Now maybe it gets a little more normal.
Baseball players are routine-oriented. You're right, Bob. The Yankees will play 162 games in 187 days this year. It's a grind. But when you can play your home opener and you've already got a West Coast streak off to the side and you went 5-1, that home opener is going to be even more enjoyable. And what the Yankees are going to try and start to do on Friday, Bob, is do what they did last year at home. They were 50-31 in games played in the Bronx. They had an advantage when they played there, and they took advantage of that.
Well, a lot to look forward to and more coming up. That's it for this edition of the WB Mason postgame. But keep it right here because Yankees Extra Innings Live is next on Yes of the Gotham Sports app. We're going to have more from inside the clubhouse, including reaction from David Bednar and Paul Goldschmidt. Yankees win it 5-3 to take the series in Seattle, going 5-1 on the opening trip. We got more coming up next. Great to have you back with us on Yes of the Gotham Sports app. It is Yankees Extra Inning Live as we recap a series finale win in Seattle. The captain and the boys getting it done with a 5-3 victory. Cam Schlittler pitching beautifully. Some power from Paul Goldschmidt and Ben Rice as well. Good to have you back, Bob and Jack, with you. Let's get to our turning points of the victory. 5-3 in Seattle. Brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And let's start top of the first. And Jack, we've talked about good two-out hitting and two-out at-bats for the Yanks. That started in the first off George Kirby.
We expected them to be aggressive against Kirby, and they were. Ben Rice takes that slider into the right field corner. Bellinger comes around to score. It's an RBI double for Rice, 1-0 Yankees.
So 1-0, and that allows Cam Schlittler to get going, and he got going pitch efficient. I think that was the big thing, Jack, as he went along in this game.
Yeah, a lot of swing and miss on that four-seam fastball. We saw him get Raleigh. We see him get Julio Rodriguez, and then right there against Cole Young, he goes cutter that end of the third.
Knew he was going to be working with about 75 or 80 pitches. This was the big swing of the bat. Again with 2 outs, and Goldschmidt tees off.
Yeah, right on right for Goldschmidt. His first homer against a righty since last June. It's a 3-run shot. It was after a couple of walks by Kirby. Yankees made him pay 4-0.
Now, the Mariners were just trying to get something going in this entire series. They finally got something going in the game in the bottom of the 8th. Doval walked a batter to load the bases, and then Cal Raleigh, who's just been struggling early on, greets David Bednar with a base hit to right. 2-run score. Mariners cut the lead in half to 4-2. Bednar settles in, though. Next batter, Julio Rodriguez, gets a splitter past him, and that ends the inning. But, Jack, there was more coming up in the ninth from both sides, including Rice again.
Yeah, Rice continues to just destroy the baseball. He recognizes that changeup from Criswell, tees off on it, sends it into right center for his first home run of the season, builds the lead to 5-2.
Mariners got a run back in the ninth, and they were making Bednar work.
Yeah, Bednar is going to face Cole Young here, and it ends up being a 10-pitch battle. He skies this one to right, doesn't reach the warning track, but an exhale from all involved as far as the Yankees are concerned, including Bednar, Bob, who threw 40 pitches.
Yeah, he had to put in the work. He gave up 3 hits. He struck out 1. And the Yankees ultimately prevailed, though the bullpen was mortal in this one. Let's hear from Bednar postgame.
It's man, it's a lot of fun to watch. Just honestly, just going right after guys, attacking guys. You know, having 80 pitches going in the 7th inning is just really impressive. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's just he's just got so many different ways to attack you, and man, I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Pretty wild, just a 16th start of his major league career, and he continues to almost make it look easy out there.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, it's really impressive to watch.
Is it not unusual to? What do you have, like, kind of unusual 3 upper 90s fastballs? Like that's kind of feels like a weird package.
No, it's definitely unique, and it certainly works. It's like I said, it's very impressive.
How much of a grind did it feel like out there for you tonight, this afternoon?
It's finding a way by any means, and guys made some good plays out there, and just keep going after it, keep the foot on the gas.
Did you anticipate that he might go to you early in that 8th inning?
Yeah, we had talked about it before, and so I was prepared for it.
you underscored the 40 pitches. The good news is there's an off day tomorrow, but yeah, Bednar had to put in some work today.
There's an off day tomorrow. I would bet that Bednar is probably going to get an off day on Friday. We'll see what Saturday brings for the Yankees, but you could tell the type of bulldog closer that he is, Bob, and I thought the final at-bat against Young exemplified that. He would not give in. Young kept fouling off pitches. The pitch count was going up, but against a very pesky hitter, Bednar was throwing the pitches that he thought would allow him to succeed. He finally gets the big out. I actually think the biggest out that he notched was what we discussed earlier. That was the strikeout of Rodriguez to end the 8th inning, because the Mariners finally had some momentum. Raleigh comes through with that 2-run hit, and for him to get that splitter and get Rodriguez to swing over it, I've seen Bednar's splitters have a lot more drop than they did today to the naked eye. I wouldn't say that's the greatest splitter that Bednar ever threw, but it got him through that 8th inning, and then he got through the 9th as well.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get that out in the 8th, it might force Boone's hand to go to another reliever after Bednar. Was not the case. They get the 5-3 win. When we come back on Yankees Extra Innings Live, more from the clubhouse with Paul Goldschmidt. The big home run in the 6th inning helps propel him to victory. The New York Yankee Foundation's opening day 50-50 raffle is open now. Friday's home opener has a guaranteed jackpot starting at $50,000. One lucky fan will take home half the pot, and the other half benefits the Yankees Foundation. Buy your tickets now at yankees.com/5050. Well, here are the numbers for the Yankees on this afternoon's ball game. Paul Goldschmidt goes 1 for 4, 3-run homer. Ben Rice on base 3 times. He had another big home run in that 9th inning for the key 5th run that they needed to get this victory. Let's hear from Paul Goldschmidt first, talking in the clubhouse about the Yankees pitching.
Yeah, I don't think I really even realized it till maybe yesterday and today. Obviously, we knew how good they've been pitching, but hopefully we can keep that going. But they've been doing a great job. Really pounding the zone. Obviously, our guys have good stuff. Haven't walked too many guys, it doesn't seem like. I don't know the stats, but yeah, they're making it tough. They're making other guys get hits, put the ball in play, and defense has done a good job, making plays when they do.
What impresses you the most about Cam?
I mean, I think we've just, I know it's been a short time, but I think I've seen him continue to improve, which is always a really good sign. You see guys come up and have success, but there's adjustments to be made, and I feel like he's done a really good job of that, whether it's teams that kind of hit him hard, he made an adjustment the second time, or throwing more strikes or different pitches, mixing it up. So he's always really well prepared, works hard, and I've seen him just improve. And I think we all know there's going to be ups and downs, but when you have the ability to make adjustments like that, it is a good sign for long-term success.
What do you make about the whole road trip here? To go home 5-1, played a lot of clean games, great pitching, got some timely hits.
Yeah, it was a good week for us, but we know there's probably still 6 months to go. So, we talked about just doing the little things and playing the game, and making those plays. Always just, it's not always about hitting a homer or something like that. So there's a lot of games to go. We'll continue working and try to play well, and hopefully those things will pay off and we'll win a lot of games.
Last year you didn't play a whole lot in the second half. Did that kind of prepare you for what you're doing now, where you're in for a start here and there and you can still get the best out of yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's probably really the first time in my career that's happened, but was an adjustment that was honestly, at least last year, just felt pretty easy. And there's some things I got to change in my routine or whatever, but we got a lot of good players here, and I just try to stay ready. If I got to come off the bench, play defense, pinch hit, or play in a game like today, and just try to help us win.
Is not playing every day tough on you mentally, or do you say, okay, at this point in my career, I'm happy to be on a good team here? And
I mean, I knew coming back here that, we had Benny at first and GDH, and so I knew this wasn't going to be a place unless somebody got hurt that I would be playing every single day. But I love these guys in this lineup. I love, being a Yankee, and just have so much fun here, and obviously a great team that has a chance to win. So I knew, what I was going to be doing. So I'm happy to do whatever they need me to do. I love to play, but if I'm not in there, then I love to, root these guys on and get ready to come off the bench, or,
help them if there's something I may see that can help a teammate. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I knew what, kind of this role was going to be and just try to do it to the best of my ability.
Well, he absolutely did that today with that big 3-run home run. So he's brought back for that kind of performance today, Jack, but also that veteran presence in the clubhouse, a former MVP, and part of the conversation of a variety of veterans who looked at last season and said, we need to change our mindset going into this season.
I listened to Goldschmidt during that interview, and even though he's a bench player now, Bob, I hear some urgency. When he was asked about the great first week, he said, yeah, there's 6 months to go. And I go back to a story that was written by Brendan Cuddy in The Athletic, how when the Yankees were in San Francisco after those first 2 games, Judge, Stanton, and Goldschmidt all talked to the team about seizing these opportunities. Don't be happy just because you won the first 2 games of the series. Grab that 3rd game. And baseball is not like football. You can't stand up on a chair and rah-rah and scream. But you can play with an urgency. And you can remind yourself of the importance of these early season games, Bob, and winning the games you're supposed to win. And I think if the Yankees look at the first 3 weeks of their schedule, there's a lot of wins in there. And by the time they face the Red Sox towards the end of April, I think they should believe that they should have a very favorable record at that point.
Yeah, don't let those opportunities slip away. They're going to get back to work in the Bronx on Friday. First home series of the season will be out there. We're going to detail more about Friday when we come back. We look ahead to Friday's home opener in the Bronx and your series probables for all 3 games. Brought to you by Nissan. All 3 games are on Yes, and Friday it begins with coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app at noon. It'll be Yuri Perez going for the Miami Marlins against Will Warren. Getting that home start and talking with Meredith Morakovitz about the atmosphere of Friday afternoon.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be Yankee baseball for sure. Fans are going to be crazy, and we're going to feed off that and, hopefully go out there and get a win.
How do you kind of harness those emotions when the crowd is into it this early in the season?
Yeah, I think you don't elevate yourself for the game. The game's going to elevate you. And so you feed off that crowd and that environment and, help it fuel you while you're out there.
Do you feel like that at times can bring out the best of you when you have that extra energy behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you can maybe throw 100 when you got those guys screaming for you out there. But no, I think it's about having confidence, and the fans will fuel you like that sometimes.
Hey, we'll see after the game if I'm talking to you about hitting triple digits, right? When you look back at your first start, 4 1/3 allowed 1 run on 5 hits. What did you take away from that, and what adjustments are you making heading into the Marlins start?
Yeah, I think overall, we attacked. Command wasn't there like we really wanted to. So, we work on that this week. Trusting ourselves over the plate, allowing the defense to play behind us, and heading towards this one, just getting over the plate and attacking aggressively and trusting our stuff.
Do you think the aggressive attacking and perhaps better command will help you be a bit more efficient out there as well? Because they made you work last start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ramos saw 17 pitches and 2 at-bats. He's fighting his butt off up there, and I'm just trying to get him to swing and miss or put something in play. So I think that one comes down to command. If I can hit my spot where he's got a hole up there, then, maybe we cut that into 8 or 9 pitches. And so that's, kind of what we worked on this week.
And I saw you out there talking to Preston Claiborne. What specifically were you guys tinkering with out there today?
Yeah, just making sure everything's fine-tuned. Fastball's got the right orientation, change-up, grip is looking good, and then obviously just hammering home that the sweeper is going to be a strike pitch, not always a swing and miss pitch.
One thing before I let you go, you mentioned the defense. What have you thought of the team defense so far to start the season here?
Oh my gosh, we love double plays, don't we? No, it's been great. It's been fantastic. As a pitcher, it's always nice to go up there and know that, if you give up weak contact or they put the ball in play, that, there's a good chance it's going to be an out.
He is Will Warren getting the ball Friday in the Bronx. Will, thanks for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Send it back to you.
Meredith, thank you. And listening to Will, it sounds like this is a big deal for him. It's not an opening day start, but in a way it is. It's like opening day 2.0 because it's at home.
It should be a big deal. He made 33 starts for the Yankees last season. He has proven that he is a starter at the major league level. It's just up to Will Warren to now prove how far do you move up the pecking order in a rotation? And Bob, I thought he gave a great evaluation of his own start against the Giants. It was command that became a problem for him. 83 pitches to get through 4 1/3 innings. So if he can be more efficient, if he can be more in the zone, you're suddenly seeing those 83 pitches get you a little deeper into the game, and you're a lot happier about the outcome.
All right, a lot to look forward to as the Yankees get back to work on Friday at home in the Bronx. Yankee Stadium will be the site of their first home game. Marlins against the Yankees. Our coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app begins at noon with extended pregame coverage and all the festivities and pageantry of opening day at home. Enjoy the off day Thursday. We'll see you again Friday starting at noon. Take care.